Surprise, it was Burry and Buffett. So I didn't want to get you guys' hopes up, right? I didn't want anyone to think that Buffett was the only way that this stock could go up. But, you know, just knowing Buffett, knowing the state of the entire market right now, there's not much out there that's of value. So, okay, you guys hear me? Cool. So yeah, I didn't see the fact that, you know, Buffett, Burry, Renaissance, I didn't necessarily think that we would get all of them, but now we have this crazy dream team. And remember, a lot of these super funds, these are massive funds, a lot of them. It's still a very small portion of Buffett's overall portfolio, right? It's only like, if we look at it right now, I think it's like $1 billion, 1.4 billion. So very, very small, 1.57 billion, you know, a million shares. But, you know, he's probably been buying right now. That's a thing. They did make a good call. Now he's retired, but you know, Buffett's still calling the shots. He's probably calling in, you know. So that's going to be a big thing. I think we're going to need to keep an eye on is a lot of this volume. We've seen some really weird action. I've been covering on the channel. You know, we've seen some weird action in the options market, and you know, that's probably something we're going to continue to see with these super funds loading. We're going to see them probably continue to buy. I mean, unless we get a big market pullback, but even if that happens, I think this is still a flight to safety. Now, what we found out was this stock has really been bought up in the last 3 months by these super funds, and it hasn't pushed down the institutional ownership, which is probably one of the greatest things I've seen for a stock that's gone, you know, down 60+%. Normally you see a 5, maybe even even more, because a stock dropping that fast from this levels, it's like, you know, there's major risks coming in, right? But I think one of the things we need to keep an eye on with this is there might be some larger positions coming in from these super funds, you know, over the next probably few months, because now the cat's out of the bag, right? This is going to be one of the ones where people are like, oh man, is this a meta? You know, because if the most of the float, that's the crazy thing is I've been breaking this down, and we'll go over it in a minute. Just want to make sure everyone kind of joins us in here. We've seen some crazy moves in the stock market, right? We've seen some stocks. I think Newegg's like up almost 2,000%. So it's like where's the value now in a lot of these stocks in the market? So smart money's been buying. Now retail's the one really that dumped. You know, retail's what's dumped this stock. If you go and check the I like to just use the NASDAQ here. They'll compile the 13Fs and everything. And this last spring was like 88%. So this is very bullish to me, because I expected this, like I said, I expected this to be down in the 70s. A stock, say, like that's been beaten down, you know, for years, like PayPal, something like that. Like the institutional ownership was in the 80s, and then it dropped to 60%. So like institutions left quickly. Now we're not seeing that in a stock like this, and of course not. It's something that can be fixed. Management can fix the issues that they have, and I'm very bullish. You know, I'm bullish this stock. I'm bullish long term. I've been holding options in this. Last week, I guess we found the bottom, right? It's literally like another meta, right? Now it's gonna go through a few things here. There's just so much to cover, and now it is number one on Wall Street Bets. If you see. Just a lot of people talking about it. Number one on Stock Twits, and it's probably going to be trending on you know, X. So yeah, we're just getting started in this move, guys. It's going to be, now a lot of people, they might think, oh yeah, this new type thing will wear off, where these super funds have invested, and people are like, okay, yeah, the stock might pull back some, right? We might open up 10, 20% tomorrow. Like it's up 10% in the after hours, but you know, we don't know who's going to buy. And I already know that this float is very, very small compared to the other stocks in the S&P 500. And I've already crunched a lot of the data here. So in this post, I went through, and I've been creating this myself. So I went in and looked at all of the top like 35 S&P 500 companies, and I was looking to see what the institutional ownership was, and then how many shares outstanding that the companies have. So basically, if you're a retail investor and you buy this stock, how much percentage of the company can you get? Like what slice of the pie, right? Well, out of all the top 35, UnitedHealth Group is number 1 in value, meaning you can own more of the company right now. So what was interesting was, out of all the stocks and some of the other ones that are, pretty good value, like MasterCard, like they have a pretty small float compared to, we're talking, 14, ridiculous amounts, right? 14 billion shares, and, NVIDIA even more, what, 24 billion? So when you have a float that's 907 million shares, and then you have literally 108 million is what's left over because the institutional ownerships. Now, right now it's dropped a little bit because the last 13 Fs came in. I think it was 86 and a half. So you're still at less than like 110, 100, maybe 20 million shares. And the value, because the stock has dropped 50, 60%, is ridiculous, right? And I just have not seen value in the market like this since maybe like a Netflix dropped that quick, like in 2022, or a Meta. And the company can turn this stuff around very quickly. So that's why I've been talking about a lot on this channel. And, it's changed people's lives already, because we more than likely at 243, when I went in the heaviest, got lucky again. This is not like I can't time this every single time, but I don't talk about a lot of stocks on this channel. I don't talk until I find real value. And this play was just something that I went in heavy. And I hadn't went in this heavy in a while in the stock market, because, a lot of the stuff, it's mainly to be traded right now in the market when it's this volatile and you get massive upsides on some of these stocks, right? But with this is a long-term play for me. This is something that I see breaking into the, $1,000 plus mark in the next possibly 3+ years, maybe sooner, depending what happens. Because like I said, this float's very tight. We've seen crazier things in the market, and Warren Buffett doesn't just buy, and that's his only position. He's only size. He's probably continuing to buy. It's going to take him a while to get this position to the size he wants it. And if we look at, his portfolio and some of the other people who've obviously bought, some of his positions are very large, right? We're talking, 20 times this size, 30 times this size, right? Obviously, it's going to take a while for him to get this. But I think with that drop, if he bought, because this means he bought the first dip. So if he's continuing to buy this right now, that could be what's starting to push it up. Especially, that's why he waited till the very last day to file. This is the very last day, because he knows when Warren Buffett buys a stock, it does pretty good, right? It shows that Warren Buffett doesn't think this is going bankrupt. Warren Buffett probably doesn't think that the company is, look at Wells Fargo, what happened, right? I don't think he thinks this is going to be a long-term issue for a company like this, right? And for a holding like Warren Buffett. And there's a lot of bullish tailwinds that we've been talking about with the stock that is probably going to start to help push it up as well. One of the big things with UnitedHealth Group is the MCR. So it's gone up to 80%, the costs, and they can't get this, like, even if everything happens, perfect for the company, it's going to stay 80% or above. But every 1%, it's billions and billions of dollars in free cash flow that the company's going to be able to add on to. And right now, since they did the revisions, they're still paying the dividend, right? Yesterday that was one of the things. I knew that wasn't the news. I let everyone in the Discord know. I was like, the dividend is not it. There's something going on. And yesterday I did a little poll and I was like, is Buffett going to buy? Is Burry going to buy? Those two happen. And then there's also some major deals that are happening with Big Pharma. And now these tariffs are going to be massive, 250% by next year. So these companies, whatever company, and if the company doesn't do a deal, the government's going to start investigating them. And that's just going to be, that's it for a lot of these companies that in Big Pharma that don't want to work with the government. They're done with us paying these crazy, crazy prices, right? So that's going to be a big thing that's going to be tailwind, obviously long-term for UnitedHealth Group. But we're also going to probably see long-term that MCR, the costs come down. And all they have to do is management has to just acknowledge that there's this. In my opinion, they acknowledge this and they might reproject these free cash flows and earnings, right? And it might happen beforehand. So the new CFO comes in next month, right? Officially. So that's going to be a really cool thing to kind of track. And I just, this is probably the luckiest I've been in a long time in the market, not just finding the bottom, but having like a team like this, a dream team, we're talking about 19 of these super investors coming in. Now, Michael J. Burry hasn't bought a lot, right? But it still tells people like, hey, this is value. And this is probably going to be a quick turnaround. Now, these guys were buying on the first dip. So technically, if we were getting in last week and at the end of Friday, the week before that, we've got better averages than the best investors in the world, right? Warren Buffett, the best value investors and long-term. We've seen some massive names on here. This is just, I think, the beginning too. I think a lot of people probably, now that you see some of these big names have been buying, the dream team is like, I'm going to call it from now on. I think a lot of other funds are going to start buying, and we've seen this. Look at these percentages, right? Now, these are not as large, but this adds up when the float is tiny, right? 1 sec, I'm just going to make sure. I was going to go live on both, but let me see. So yeah, when you start to see this, you're going to have crazy amounts of potential FOMO. Obviously from retail is going to be one of the big ones that you want to look out for, because I think they were really the ones that sold this stock off. Okay. Let me just make sure. Okay. My audio is good. Yeah. They were the ones that literally sold this off. So if we see more funds and retail coming in, honestly think this is probably going to be another meta type moment. So, this type of thing isn't going to be a one and done, I don't think. I think that these funds are going to really start to, a lot of them average down. I mean, some of these average prices, look at them. So you don't get these type of opportunities very much in your life. When long-term you have a stock that's of value that has some rough, times, a lot of those I think are past us, right? I think we're already starting to get past it. If the DOJ, here's another thing. If the DOJ, slaps them on the wrist, doesn't find much sooner than people think, I mean, this thing can gap up like crazy, because I think that's a lot of the overhang that we've also had. Now, these smart investors, they don't care. They're going to probably keep investing. I mean, there's some really big names coming in here. And if you look at, like, obviously Buffett, Dodge and Cox, you've got David Tepper, it's going to really tell the market that, hey, you know what? Maybe we overreacted, especially retail, because retail's the ones obviously that we've seen. Now we've seen some trimming here. Viking did actually coming in. It looks like they trimmed their 100% portion. Now, could they be back? Possibly. That's the thing. This is all lagging data, right? This stuff is old. So right now, I'm sure, Berkshire Hathaway is adding more. And a lot of these big funds that did add, they're probably adding more. Now, from the data, we can look, it's down about 1%, but that's not that bad when you have a stock dropping 60%. Like I said, if you're just joining me now, this type of thing, normally you see massive selling from the institutions. And when you have, like I showed before, when you have a float, when you're the number one, pretty much the smallest in the S&P 500, the smallest amount of shares left for you to buy, right? It's 28 billion worth technically. Now there's a lot more to this, and a lot of this data is still in a sense lagging indicator, right? It's like lagging data, because we know that they bought the Q2, but we don't know what they might have sold, So right now, and I'm going to read the chat, guys. Like, I haven't been back on live in a while, so let me know what you guys think too in this. Are we going to see a long-term push-up? I mean, it looks like we might break $300 by Friday, right? That's kind of the goal. I thought that these 243, it really did start to feel like meta. The sentiment was just at rock bottom, and when you see that, that's usually when institutions are going to be buying hand over fist too. But this data that I was crunching, I was like, wow, are you kidding me? Like, if you're buying, if you want to buy out the rest of shares in Nvidia, I mean, it's trillions of dollars. And it's same thing with Apple, Microsoft. And I'm like, wow, I can get a company that is going to be number 3 in the world soon for revenue. Okay. Number 3 in the world by 2027, 2028. And if they can keep their MCR, those down to like 80%, where it's at 89 right now, you're talking every percent, it's like billions and billions more free cash flow. And then as they expand too, and they obviously, the biggest thing is cutting the cost and getting the DOJ issues, fixing that. And this is really bullish for everyone. That's the other thing. Why I like this stock too is because I think a lot of people don't understand that UnitedHealth Group, it also does help a lot of people in the world. And they want people to be healthy. That's the thing. They would rather not to have to pay for people to have, get all these medicines to pay for, obviously, the cancer treatments, all that. They want them to be healed, right? A car insurance company doesn't want the people they insure to have wrecks, right? They want them to be safe. That's a good thing. They make money. That's why Warren Buffett loves insurance, and that was one of the things that I said. If Warren Buffett buys this, that was one of the things that I think that he could see in the long term, that this AI and costs are going to start to come down, and we've seen massive run up in the past 25 years in healthcare costs. It's the number one thing. And while tech and everything from the year 2000 has dropped like 70, 80, 90%. I mean, your TVs back then, some of these TVs were $10,000. Now you can get them for $150, like the same type TV, even better, So those things have gone down. Now, how can we get the big tech or the big tech side to cut that type of thing to come into UnitedHealth Group and the health sector? It's because of AI. A lot of AI and its upfront costs. That's why we're starting to see a little bit of this lumpy earnings. A lot of this was upfront. A lot of people postponed their surgeries because of the COVID era. They postponed those into now, in 2024 and in 2025. I being one of those. You couldn't have during the time when you were during COVID. A lot of people couldn't get surgeries because they were like, it's got, some hospitals were like, we're treating people. You can't do this till later. So a lot of people were also scared, especially elderly that are on, Medicare. So yes, everything was kind of pushed off, and that's lumpy earnings. That's what you get, right? So that's kind of where we're at right now. You've got a small float, and maybe it's even less now after today, right? It's going to be a lot less shares for these super funds to get. If they're wanting to buy NVIDIA, they've got plenty of shares left over here, right? But not much in the S&P 500. If we're looking at the S&P 500, another great thing is we've been seeing this rotation. There's a lot more buying. Look at this. We're now at 429,000. So as this goes up and all of these ETFs start adding in the short term as well, starting to go up. So yeah, I think that this is something that's also going, it's like that flywheel effect. You'll start to see right now because it's one of the best values in the market. And even if it hits 300 tomorrow, it will be. So after hours, I think there's a little lagging. Let's see on here. What are we at? So we're looking at, it's still up 9.8%. So yeah, we're going to probably break 200 tomorrow. It's sitting right at that 300 level because there's a lot of options expiring that are, people were betting. People thought Buffett might have actually bought. And obviously some weird things. I think a lot of it got leaked out possibly way beforehand. But yeah, you got to stay calm in the storm. That's the thing, GB, you're saying. It's when you're a value investor, like this is nothing, Long term, this is going to be life changing. I think for a lot of people. I mean, I know people put millions in this, millions in shares and stuff. I've seen millions in options too. It's already going to be a massive runner, especially if this was bottom. We've got 2+ years for my thesis for this to kind of play out, and if everything hits, if we get all the golden swans, the pharmaceutical companies start lowering costs immediately, then I think honestly this is going to break 1,000 within the next 3 years. Okay, and it's not hard. It's not hard for that to happen. If we look at their revenue in 2028, they're projected to be number 3 in the world. So if they can get the cost down, which they will, the premiums, one of the big things is they just raised their premium prices. Okay, they were complacent because they had a massive data breach. And that's a funny thing. The first news that popped this morning was, and I knew they were trying to mess with it. It was literally not, they were talking about the data breach. It was like one of the first events, right? But yeah, that's the other thing. Soros also bought. I mean, you're talking massive, massive names. And this is lagging indicators. So when we look at this, we're like, hey, last quarter, these big funds were buying. Do you think that they're still buying? Yes. Retail probably dumped all their shares. So that's the thing. That's what the market's forward looking, right? These funds, they can't get in a day. They're looking to probably establish a big position, because if you've seen their averages, they are some of these averages are very, very high compared to what it recently was, right? In UnitedHealth Group. So largest holders too, you got the massive, massive funds buying for their clients as well. Passive, obviously. But one of the things was, this stock had a failure to deliver on that last drop. So that's pretty rare for a stock like this. And that proves my point that there are not a lot of shares floating around out there. They haven't diluted like a lot of the big S&P 500 companies. That's the thing. That's why I said that this reminds me of a meta moment as well. And probably more on Netflix, because Netflix dropped, you guys know, you follow the channel, we were talking about it back in 2022. It was crazy, 43% overnight. And I said back then, this is going to probably be better than COVID times to buy right now. And it literally was. It was probably one of the best times in history, because you had stocks that were down so much, and in the options too, like you were getting crazy deals because people thought that this was going to go for another few years, like a bear market. But yeah, 43% it dropped, but it recovered quickly. So, if we're looking right now, UnitedHealth Group, we're already up a bunch in just since this bottom. What are we going to be at now? Looks like, geez, I didn't even know it's moved a lot. 27% if we open tomorrow at 300. Guys, Meta in the first few weeks moved 27%. So is it a meta moment? It's not Meta. They're obviously big difference, but they do make more money than Meta did at the time when Meta was dropped, at $88. They make more free cash flow than Meta has. They have less shares than Meta had. So to me, it's just as good of an opportunity. And long term, the thing is, with what I went into this, like I went into heavy options last week, and they're going to be doing very, very well. But I did a very similar, and this is what I want to tell you guys, very similar in the meta play. A lot of my options, I kind of played it. I played it okay, but I could have played it a lot better. Now looking back at it, and just a few years later, just becoming a better investor as well, and just really feeling how the market works now, because things have changed since T+1. Now, like the market's totally different. You got AI, these LLMs. People make decisions a lot faster. Even retail, they can crunch a whole earnings transcript and ask specific questions. We've got our own quants now, right? So the market's in a totally different place. The T+1 LLMs, and money doesn't know where to go right now. That's the thing. Money doesn't. There's $7.5 trillion in money market funds just chilling, right? When rates start to come down. And now we'll also talk a little bit about today, some pretty high prints, right? People got scared. The market actually pulled back. So if we look at the overall market, that's another thing. The market wasn't doing too hot today. Amazon, this is another one that's been down. So money is kind of going a little bit to safety because it has been down. What is it for the week? 4.5%. Yeah, money's been coming back into it because it's for the month, it's only up 2%, right? So yeah, money's been flowing. Apple, Nvidia, 10%, Google, 10%. So yeah, if we look at the 3-month, there's not too much. Everything, even in the past 3 months, maybe Tesla. We've got some health stocks, obviously Pharma that's been down, Berkshire as well. So maybe this will be the one, right? Maybe this will be the one that helps them out. But yeah, so money's going to be looking for safety, and I think UnitedHealth Group is going to be one of the places you're going to start to see that, especially if rates start to come down, right? So some of you guys are saying you think fair value is 330 to 350. I honestly think it's a little higher than that. I think that people aren't estimating with just them raising the premiums how much it'll bring up free cash flow. And the other thing is, I don't really see anyone talking about the bullish side of big pharma costs coming down. Like these could happen overnight. Like, do you think these companies want to be investigated right now? No. Do they want to, especially when they know they're going to have to lower costs? If America is 2/3 of their revenue and the U.S. government is saying, and this is bipartisan, by the way, I don't think the left want to go against this either. They want prices down. Everyone wants prices down. It's a win-win for everyone. Now, UnitedHealth Group, if they set, their PBM sector, if they have to lower prices, it's not that bad of a hit. After running the numbers, maybe $1 billion or so free cash flow hit. But the upside of lowering the cost, which is like 10 to 13% that they have across the board with their big pharma costs, because people take a lot of medicine, right? 53 plus million people they have. I mean, there's a lot of medicine. And if they get those costs down, it's a golden swan event. They've never seen something like this with healthcare. And the video that I posted on my YouTube channel, the last video we went over, I was saying this. I showed a few months ago when they did the executive order, when they were talking about this is the first time that they've ever, Kennedy's ever seen this. And they want to make America healthy again, right? Let's see if it happens. How can they do that? They literally just need to get people to lose weight, and they need to start making sure that the food and drinks are a little bit healthier, right? A lot of this is what caused people to have obesity in America, along with not working out. There's a lot of things. But if you look at other parts of the world, these companies, not only the food companies, they charge less overseas for these things, but they're also healthier. They don't have the same ingredients that are harmful to the body, that do create, especially in kids, issues. So if they fix that, and the other thing is Big Pharma, if there's a test that'll be coming next year that Medicaid first and then Medicare, people will be able to get weight loss drugs to lose weight. Now, most doctors say, and most people can't lose the weight. Most obese people, they have issues just doing it by themselves. They do probably need some help, especially because it's years and years of compounding, right? Compounding bad choices, even depression. People are because they're overweight, a lot of this, and they don't go to the gym, they have these issues. By the way, I was in the gym when this happened. I put my phone out of the gym because I knew I'd keep checking it, because I was like, burying Buffett. And my wife's like, "No, you're not gonna work out." So she's like, "Go put your phone in there." So because I kept messing with it, so I did, and I got done working out, and I was like, "I'm gonna go." I told her, I was like, "I'm gonna go check," and Warren Buffett's gonna have bought it. And I just had a feeling, and I looked at my phone. I was like, "Holy crap!" I was like, "Here it is. We found the bottom again." But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be right. Deep value. You're not always right, but when you do find something like this, that's the big thing. Is I can tell you from finding something, crazy value like Meta and all these other stocks in the past, Centrus Energy, at $3, it was lonely talking about it on this channel. Thing hit 250 recently, in the last month or so. It's pulled back like I thought, but it's a little lonely. So it is nice to finally start to see some other people coming around. And when you have like a Warren Buffett and you have a massive super fund like that, and not just Buffett, I mean, we're talking about Burry and even just getting the publicity. It's nice to finally to have that. So yeah, Dividend Dude. Yeah, I appreciate it. You subbed. Yeah, I've seen your stuff. You've been posting about UnitedHealth Group too. Nice stuff for sure. Yeah, it's nice to finally be in the corner of some greats, right? Because being a value investor, just because you see the value there, if the market doesn't see it, then you're going to have issues. We've seen this with a stock like PayPal. I bought it at 50, established a long thesis. But the problem with PayPal, and a lot of people ask me, and now that we're live, we can talk about it. So PayPal had a major issue. Like, the founder kind of really went against their own customers. Worst thing you could do, politics, right? So not only did he do that, they waited forever to get management. Now, when it was about 50, I was like, dude, this is crazy undervalued. Now, the stock did run up to 93, but as far as like my investing, I haven't invested anymore. I'm done with it. I think long term that stock, it does need rate cuts. I think that's one of the big overhangs. And they waited too long to also shock the world, as Alex Chris said. I think he's a phenomenal CEO, but you can't tell the market after 2 years of it dropping the stock to new lows You can't be like, yeah, we're going to take another year and a half to get things going, because the institutions, they literally sell, right? We saw it at 83%, and then it's down to 60+% at those lows. Now they've been coming back. They've started to say, hey, Alex is doing great. Like, they're doing great overseas. And I like that. And I like, PayPal World's phenomenal. But the problem is you got to execute and you got to give an outlook. In this market, it does not matter what you're doing right now. It matters. They care about the future, right? Forward looking. Even if you're buying back shares, you're doing all these phenomenal things for a value company like me that I'm looking for. If management is still kind of sandbagging the future, that people are going to get pissed, man. People are going to be like, when they see Carvana going up, 5,000%, 6,000%, and you're in a stock like that, and you're just like, what is going on? Or we're looking at, what's another one? Like Newegg, right? Newegg's ridiculous right now. Just look at the highest ones right now. I think Newegg's, what is it? Jeez, look at that. So yeah, when you have stocks that are just, I think it was $3. And by the way, this was on my radar. This has been on my radar for a while. I just can't touch it as a value investor right now in this market. That's ridiculous. That's the new Carvana, guys. Billionaires are probably going to be made from this one too. It's ridiculous. So, yep. When you have this and you're a PayPal and you're sandbagging outlook, investors are like, I'm just going to go to something else, right? And that's what ended up happening. But yeah, let's see. What are you guys saying? I'm sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat at all. Let's see. Yeah, Kyle, PayPal's going to be okay still. Kyle, you're in the Discord. It's Kyle from the Discord. Kyle, you bought a bunch of dude. Are you up 6 figures tomorrow? Because Kyle bought hundreds of leaps, as well as I did as well, across the board. Not just in one single leap, but hundreds of options into June of 2027. That's what I did. So it's probably going to be a beautiful day tomorrow. Now, this isn't to gloat, but when you find value, you want to buy hand over fist. I mean, look at the market though. Look at this. This is crazy. It's starting to really squeeze, man. And I think that this being a long-term play, we might see some pullbacks. Maybe some of the retail coming in, they're gonna eventually sell it off before we get up. But I mean, Meta did the same thing. Meta had a lot of people, including myself. There was times when this thing pulled back, and I'm like, you know what? Should I sell? Should I or should I just keep holding on? And it's been a crazy move, right? If we're looking back at this point, it's just ridiculous what the market's done. And I if you look at it, I've had people telling me at this point, literally, that it was going to go. They're like, the Meta's done. They said Mark Zuckerberg's going to run the company into the ground. He's overspending. And what happened? Well, it recovered almost 800%. And long term, UnitedHealth Group's is going to be the same thing. Now, it's probably not going to see this type of move, but if we look from here to here within the first few weeks, we're on track to be right on what Meta did. Right from the bottom, the bounce back. Now, the first bounce, we pretty much hit double bottom. If you're kind of looking at the weekly chart, right? Because it's moved pretty fast. But yeah, if we're looking long term, I honestly think the stock could break into the 1,000 mark 3+ years. Because like I said, when you can just raise premiums every year, and by the way, they asked, what was it, 20? We'll bring it up here. 26%, I think, is what they asked for. So they could get this in September. So there they are, yeah. So 26%. They did 7%. Like, whoa, you guys way undershot what you should have done. But they ended up, that's the thing, is they were complacent because of the crazy data issues that they had. They really had to make sure that they got that under control. Way more important. So they already had scrutiny. So, I mean, they really lowballed it. But they weren't the only ones. I mean, look across the board. Right? So, and they're still modest. You've got other companies asking for 35%. So I have a feeling they're going to get this. And that's going to bring it up already. That right there. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with it. But, yeah, this chart is looking pretty fun. Fun value type, play, right? Looks like it still doesn't want to break. Doesn't want to break 300 yet. Dividend Dude, you said you hope it opens tomorrow at 300. Oh, you think it will easily. Do I do trade alerts? Yeah, I do. But on the Discord and stuff, I pretty much like, if I'm buying something and I have a thesis for it, I'm going to send it out. Now, I have other accounts and stuff that maybe I see something and it's like, it's more of like a day trade or something and people know that. Like my channel, everything's mainly for like deep value. So like a good example was like when Centrus Energy LEU, it dropped to in the 20s in 2023. This was one that on options especially, this thing dropped like crazy. And I mean, this thing hit 88 and it dropped. This stock has already dropped like from here, from this 250. It's one of the most volatile stocks on the market that I've traded. So I honestly think it could get down to here. And like 50% drops all the time in the stock. But it's been, I've been trading this since $3. You know, this stock was $1. So it's already beat NVIDIA when it hit 250, actually beat NVIDIA in 9.5 year run. And if this thing, I think this thing will go to 1,000, but they did they're diluting a little bit. There's hardly any share. There's not very many shares, right? It's literally 15 million float. So, that's why a lot of people are like, dang it, and that's what happens when you have a run up this big. But anyways, back here in 2023, this thing dropped down in the 20s. And I was like, you know what? I let everyone know. I was like, guys, this is overblown. They're going to get waivers for their Russian uranium, enriched uranium, their LEU. And I was right. And the stock bounced back very fast. It was almost within like probably a few hour movement getting options. And it was like a 6-figure gain. So it was a really nice move. A lot of people did phenomenal in that. But that's more of like, last second type trades. So I do them, but more or less on this channel, we've been doing deep value plays, man. That's what this is really about. So, UnitedHealth Group in stocks that I obviously don't move, right? People made a joke earlier. They're like, Warren Buffett saw you. It's like, yeah, maybe like someone told him that like retail's talking about it, but I doubt it. These guys, they know what they're doing, man. Retail's not moving this, although we have seen crazy amounts right now of talking on Wall Street bets, right? Is this still? Let's see what it is. Refresh it. There's a lot of positive sentiment from retail, and you normally don't see that that fast. That's the thing. So, did my buddy buy shares? You were saying? You talking about Lewis Morgan? We talked like about UnitedHealth Group about a week ago. He was selling a lot. He was taking profits on a lot of his stocks because we're getting near market peak, overall for a lot of stocks probably. And we were talking about that. Very similar to 2021. I told him I kind of had a feeling. So I think he was buying some. I don't know exactly what his position is. I know he usually buys a pretty good amount. And he was up a bunch in some other stocks, like some buy now pay later, like Sizzle. He was up like 7,000% at one point. He put like 300,000 in it. So I mean, this thing was ridiculous. So he had a crazy amount of profits and stuff like that. And it's since dropped back. I think a lot of it was probably him selling. But yeah, when you have just the market where it's at right now, and you have these types of deals. So yeah, retail coming back with it being such a low open float for purchasing, to see that and then to see it trending pretty much number one on everything. It's probably trending number one here too. But when you only have less than probably 100 million shares left, for an S&P 500 stock, that's crazy. Because even because look at this. So like with the high institutional ownership, even like a Morgan Stanley, they've still got double the amount of shares. And at their price, it'd be 32 billion worth to in a sense buy it out. So yeah, this is an anomaly, guys. And I'm going to finish crunching this data. It's LLMs can't do this, by the way. It doesn't. I have to do this all manually. And even Bloomberg, I don't think Bloomberg has all this. So it's kind of a thing that I was making up. And I think I'm going to do all 500 of the S&P 500 companies to kind of see, and these are stocks that move quick, and we've seen it. So yeah, what is it? 27%, 28% right now. So that's good. Some of the other stuff, let's see. I was talking about, so these are all updated. So we're still getting some 13Fs coming in, but the amount of institutions that still are not just buying, but are loading up it's just crazy. And this is actually now Michael J. Burry's on here and Buffett. So this is even higher. What else? It's kind of fun just being live. Oh yeah. So just kind of remind everyone, like Buffett, I honestly think that he's going to establish a big position, right? This is 1.5 billion. It's tiny. Like they have so much cash. And you don't get an opportunity for a company like this to be a long-term buy to get in, because a lot of these companies that have been holding for 20 plus years, their averages are $300-400. Now, what I thought was kind of funny after crunching a lot of the 13Fs were a lot of the companies that were selling, they had pretty low averages, like 280. So they might have actually wanted to take profits, and maybe they're back. So that's the thing, is when they've been holding for so long, but the companies that have averaged up and have $300-400 averages, they're probably buying more when it dropped down to 243. So I honestly think that when these costs come down, you'll start to see even more dividend investors, right? A lot of dividend investors here. Yeah, but yeah, Wall Street Bets is definitely talking about. Wall Street Bets, it's like one of the number ones. See? Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, shows a new stake in UnitedHealth Group. I like this earlier. Let's see kind of what people are saying. It's kind of being slow for a second. Buffett definitely browsed around Wall Street Bets before making this purchase. I'm sure he did. So did Burry, right? I honestly think, what's funny about Michael J. Burry? He's I didn't know this. I read an old article, and what he does is very similar to what I do. So whenever I'm looking for a stock, and what's great about this is if you're going on here, you can go on and literally do a search for any type of stocks you want to do. So screener, you can go on here and you can literally see every stock in the market across the world and see what's down. You can do little things. I have a deep value screener here, and boom, you'll start to see stocks pop up. And it's funny because this is exactly what Michael J. Burry does. Michael J. Burry does the exact same thing, and he uses Yahoo Finance. Or he used to use Yahoo Finance. Even when he had a Bloomberg terminal, he's like, I use Yahoo Finance, and I'll screen through and find valuable companies that are down this much. And this is how, this is how a lot of value investors, do this type of thing. But there's been some crazy gifts in the market. Another one was right now Zim, which is actually up. We talked about it the other day. It's an anomaly in the market, and it's up a good amount because they want to buy out the company now. But this thing has a price-free cash flow of 0.58. Their market cap is now $2 billion. It was like $1 billion. And their free cash flow is like $3.5 billion. So, and this is obviously a cyclical sector. But yeah, one of the ways, like this always pops up on my screener too. That was one of the things when you're looking for value. And look, the market kind of seen value, and it popped up to 18. But we were buying this a few years ago. I think, what was it? I can't even remember. It was like a lot of people in the Discord specifically were buying it. I think it was like got down to 3. Yeah, it did. And it's bounced back. But the funny thing is, these types of plays just always are popping up on the screener when I run them, and I'm just like, and seeing them finally start to get value, it's pretty nice. But yeah, let's see what else kind of the jokes are right now. He bought at 311. Am I reading this correctly? We don't know exactly what he bought at. He's probably still buying, so hopefully his average is below 300. It's over 9,000. Bought those in Q2. You can guess or infer the average price. Yeah, that's true. But the 311 is just the quarter in price. Yeah. Yeah, we don't know exactly what they're going to be. And Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, they get away with a lot of stuff. Like they probably could have delayed this too and not had any issues, Yeah, Burry's old write-ups are on Value Investors Club. Yeah, I'm a frequent member on Value Investor Club, Kyle. I know you're new to our Discord and stuff, Kyle, and you're doing good. But yeah, I actually wrote up a thing on UnitedHealth Group. I haven't posted it for value investors, but probably should have, right? I did all the stuff publicly. That's the thing. Value Investor Group, a lot of people Mini Buffett, what's his name? Is on there as well all the time. So let's see. Yeah, and then by the way, Kyle, Intel, the government wants to buy them out. Yeah, those options are up too, right? Yeah, this is just crazy, guys. Freaking 19. You had one sell of the super funds, right? Or reduced. Why are you going to reduce? It's crazy. What else, guys? Who's up? Who's up in the chat? Did you guys buy? Did you guys find the bottom? I know a lot of people kind of wanted, since I got on here, some people have seen that bought a little higher. Their average is a little bit higher. That's fine. You don't always find bottom, but long term, I think there's going to be value here. Your price target is around 325. Yeah, who's going to bet against Burry, Buffett, and all these, not very many people. These analysts, they're easily swayed. You loaded the boat in the 240s, Mike? Nice. Yeah, I think a lot of friends and family of mine kind of seen me posting about it. I was posting, that's the thing, is I knew it was pretty valuable, like Deep Value last week, and Friday the week before when I was posting on my personal pages, not just just letting everyone know it's not financial advice, but I have a good feeling about this one. Yeah, our calls are going to print. Man, I knew I should have got some DGen, few day expiration, 300 calls. Man, those are going to print. Buy strike prices. Oh man, I got a lot across the board. I've got, January 260 in 2027, and June of 2027 350s. June of 2027 400s. I got 25 of those. 25 of the 350s. The 260s I got 15. 450s, June of 2027, got 25 of those. And I got some crazy DGen way out. January 2027s, I got 20 of the 580 calls. All leaps. And I was hoping this thing would go down to 180, but probably not. Probably not ever going to see that. Yeah, the price too, I was when I saw last week there's some crazy option buying, some puts. We talked about it already, but I was there's some big funds loading up. They're doing this. This has been a while. I haven't went in this heavy in a stock in a long time either. Especially, it's still risky. I mean, you got 2 plus 2.5 years out. Still pretty risky. But I was pretty confident. I was pretty confident with what I was seeing. Just the sentiment too. It was one of those times where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get another opportunity. It's not going to be fun if this thing runs up like now and I don't go in pretty heavy. But yeah, it was a good risk reward, because tomorrow it's going to be up 27+%. More probably, for the last week and a half since the bottom. So never sell. You're going to hold until Erica 500. Okay. Yeah, I usually go heavy. In options, guys. Like I said, when I see an opportunity like this, I do go pretty heavy. I haven't been buying shares in a while. It's usually options. I've been becoming an option trader a lot the past, I'd say 3 years now. It's a good options market. Now when rates start to come down, you might start to see some. Might not be as good, but right now I think the IV on these were 37%, super low. Yeah, dividend dude, options. They're another animal, man. I've just in the past few years, I've been really, really working on that. That was something that I think I would have done a lot better during COVID, especially having played that with options more. I did phenomenal though, obviously in the shares, but it's just such a nice leverage having options. And I could have made the same amount with just way less risk, because I'm heavy cash right now, guys. I'm still heavy cash. Uranium, another sector we've been covering, it's been doing pretty good. A lot of my uranium stocks that from 2020 are up thousands of percent since then still. And uranium's still pretty low price. So there is a new 2.0 nuclear energy renaissance in America. Yeah, I bought what is it, Mickey Texas or Matt Texas back in 2022. I bought Meta. Yeah, I went heavy in Meta. Show you here. And a lot of people were making fun of me saying, you think it's a Meta 2.0? This was November of 2022. I bought a lot. I bought $250,000 in shares and options. Within the first few days, I think it was like 70,000 in options or so. I bought a lot of $100 like near-term options, and then I bought a bunch that were far out. I think overall I bought 700 plus call options across Meta during that time. Some of them did expire. Like I was across the board. Like I said, that was when I first, I guess my first biggest option, because I got 700, and this was like you didn't have a lot of time because they were already starting to go up quick when we were in the 80s, and it was it was a crazy time. I even wrote up so a lot of you are new to the channel, but I wrote this up. This is me. See my link. My account there is deleted now. But, when you talk about a stock like this, look, it wasn't even that popular. I mean, that's why 29 upvotes, that's it. And I kind of give my same thesis. It's very similar to how I rated UnitedHealth Group long term. And yeah, not a lot of people cared, right? So I kind of figured the same thing. I actually, on this new account, I made a new account. I tried to post it, and I don't have enough upvotes yet. So they missed out because it was literally, I think I posted it the Friday that it was 200 and it was like 240 something, which I'm talking about UnitedHealth Group, and I didn't have enough. But I posted everywhere else. You guys, and that was one of the things I didn't make as many videos as I should have on Meta. My channel will probably be 100,000 subscribers by now if I would have just covered it like I'm gonna do here, long term. Now we were talking about it pretty much like all the time, like especially in Discord and shit, but. Yeah. Who else? Let's see. Yeah, options. Options, you got to do your own research. It's they can be very risky, but the long term, the values here. It's a lot safer like when you're highly institutional owned, you got Buffett coming in. I mean, it's already at 10%. Right, almost at 300. They're trying to keep this from going 300, man. Those options expire tomorrow. The 300 calls, whew. Or even the 260s. Yeah, I got a lot of the 260 leaps, so those are gonna do good too. But yeah, it's been a fun time valuing the market. Like I said, I don't talk about stocks a lot. I literally just, when I find value, I do. I go in heavy on this in this channel. I'm gonna try to get your comments in, guys. I'll try to answer them. Now I'm gonna try to go back through. A lot of you guys were. Oh, there's a lot of comments. Whoops. Dang. HIMS is crashing. Would you see HIMS as a huge opportunity? I actually do. I actually do like HIMS. I've got some friends that own it. I would say it's a little risky right now with what's going on with Big Pharma. But I do like the fact that if you look at the trend through history, like what we've seen do the best, like Uber, like the biggest, taxi car company, right? In a sense, one of the biggest. They don't own cars for the most part. These companies, the biggest studios, Netflix, they're all these kind of hybrid models, right? You don't see that in too many companies where they kind of project that. This is going to be potentially one of those same type of models, HIMS. So I do like it. I like the fact that, and I know it's still being proven, like weight loss and testosterone and all those types of things, therapy and all that. I think that's going to help people long term. So it does play into my long term thesis for UnitedHealth Group. But I still think they've got a lot of headwinds with them. So, with the Big Pharma, they're going to have to lower costs. But hey, if they work out a deal, if these companies start working out deals with the government. And we've already probably seen, that's probably why we see almost 4% here, right? I didn't even look at the news on this. Look at that. They raised the price of their drugs 170% in the UK. Woo! That's what you should do. You need to be charging Europe a lot more than you're charging Americans, because we pick up too much of the bill. Now, Europe's got money, okay? Europe's not going to hurt for this. And I'll show you the chart, especially if you're new and you haven't seen it. I'm pulling it up right now. Europe is not going to hurt because they don't pay that much for their medicines. Now, this is good because outlook is everything for these companies. So, yeah, Eli Lilly, smart move. Now, they better make a deal with the U.S. government. That's going to be the best move. That's where it's going to be real bullish. So, I mean, look at that. Look at the prices. This is ridiculous. Oh, went away. These prices are just too crazy. And this is going to help UnitedHealth Group so much when we're just paying fair price. And it's in some of the smaller countries, they still get to pay their prices. But most of Europe, you're going to pay more. And that's going to lower our costs. And your costs are going to go up a little. For 30-day supply, we're not going to pay $10,000 for blood cancer medicines anymore. Nope, not no more. That's a good thing. And UnitedHealth Group this is going to help the people they insure as well. So you'll probably see more people being insured too. And no one's talking about this. Nope. I don't think I've seen any analysts talking about this. So you hear it here first. So this is going to be a big long-term thesis point for getting the MCR down. And I think it's going to be a golden swan because the U.S. government right now, Kennedy, they're not playing around, guys. They're not playing around. They're starting investigations. These companies, they're going to be hit with a 250% tariff. So what happens? They already raised their price in Europe. Why? Probably because they're going to start lowering the prices here in America. That's going to be great. So yeah, it's probably a better deal for me than Hims at these prices right now, right? A lot better company, I think, established. Their revenue is pretty good, right? Still have some headwinds though. But after this drop that it's had, it's seeing a little bit of recovery. Dropped down to 623. So, yeah, and what's cool about these types of companies with like when you're buying options, like one option contract, especially if you find super cheap options, they control 100 shares. So if this thing was, what was it? Literally at the high recently. You almost got $1,000 stock, right? That you're getting almost 100 shares, especially if they're super cheap, the options. You're controlling a big part of the company without paying a lot. And when you drop this fast, sometimes you can find crazy deals in options. And that's kind of why I've liked the options lately. You get a lot of retail too that just dump it, right? Dump a lot of options, but yeah, you can't beat some of the deals in the market right now in the healthcare sector because, right now, compared to the S&P 500, it's ridiculous right now. Now it's up 0.5%. We're starting to see this go up. Look, this is health sector versus S&P 500. Look at this. Go all time. You got to go back all time to see. There's hardly anyone compared to the S&P in this. So when you start to see the cycle into safety, look at this chart, dude. This is value. This is why the effect that I'm talking about when that cog of value comes into the sector, looks for value, that $7.5 trillion in money market funds starts to come back to the sector. It's gonna be ridiculous. This is crazy. So yeah, I think UnitedHealth Group is going to be the number one beneficiary of this. What platform is that? This right here is TradingView. There's a link in the description below. I give a discount in there as well because I'm an affiliate through them. So yeah. And price gouging Americans? Yeah, they've been price gouging Americans far too long. We're 2/3 of the revenue source for majority of these companies. So we have literal say what we can do. And back in the past, the lobbyists in the U.S. government, they got kickbacks, guys. That's why they've made hundreds of millions. Some of these, senators and things. So yeah, and you've seen senators buying UnitedHealth Group too. Yeah, there's a lot of good healthcare stocks, that are doing pretty well. If we look at just the overall today percentages, what do we got? The UnitedHealth Group closed. I knew something was weird was going on. Just the price action. I was watching it, and I was like, I was just waiting. I was in the gym, and I was like looking at it. I was like, oh man, something's happening. They closed it out almost even. I knew market makers, they knew what was going on. They knew Buffett. They had the info somehow. They did not want this to leak out. But yeah, some weird price action for sure. What else we got? Is my Discord a good place to start? Yeah, if you, I post 24/7 on there, guys. I think I have like probably 30,000 posts on there. Sometimes thesis posts, some just whatever. Just hang out with you guys in there. I'm doing these lives. I haven't done one in like 9 or 10 months. My health's a lot better. I was low iron, so I figured out I was low iron, and had to get a like transfusion and all that, or iron transfusion. So now I'm so much better, guys. Like my heart rate. If you guys have been on the channel, my heart rate was like going into like 180 or something, walking up the stairs. I was like, I used to jump out of helicopters. I used to run 10 miles a day. Like I was in the Coast Guard and like doing search and rescue. I was like, there's no way I'm getting that old. So yeah, so they fixed it, and yeah, it's a good thing. So now I'm going to do these lives a lot more. You said Bitcoin's a better opportunity? I mean, from now, like Bitcoin's great, but look at it. It just hit an all-time high. Like, how much more? Like 200,000? Like double here? Still a double? I mean, I think UnitedHealth Group's going to probably hit a double before Bitcoin does again. Long term, yeah, maybe. But, yeah, UnitedHealth Group, I see a way better opportunity. That was the great thing, too, is that the stock is like a big Band-Aid got ripped off quickly, right? It wasn't a slow death, slow burn like PayPal or some other stocks out there. Even Meta and those, guys, they dropped for 13 months. That's why the sentiment was so low. They dropped for a long time. This was just literally in April, 600, right? I think it traded like 608, right? Dropped from that point, talking almost 60%. So there was a lot, and here's the crazy thing. A lot of dividend investors were probably buying up here long term, and they probably got scared and spooked and just dumped. That's why record failure to deliver right here. There was just no one expected, especially with a tight float, that much dumping from retail mainly. Now there were some funds probably dumping too, but a lot of these green candles, that's Warren Buffett, that's freaking Michael Burry, that's your super funds buying in. So yeah, I mean, we're just getting started though, guys. This is going to be a long-term thing here, covering it too. Like there's going to be a lot of news. Oh, we did hit 300 in the after hours. It did hit it right here. Okay. Not bad. What else? Yeah, what are you guys' price targets on this long term? Yeah, PayPal's definitely been a slow death. Yeah, I got out. My thesis usually is I'm going to give a company a max a year and a half, 2 years to really prove it, especially when I go into options because they're momentum plays, right? And if you don't time those right, it's going to take a while. Oh yeah, did Buffett buy more? Did he buy more? Yeah? Let's look. Did he add? I thought Buffett, did he get rid of it? Oh, you're talking about Nucor. Pretty good. Wait, Buffett used to own this, right? Right, chat? That's what I thought. What else did he buy? Yeah, buddy. Wrong new. Yep. Increased it, right? Steel. Yeah, boring stuff, right? Still value. Not bad, not bad. I mean, I bet you if you look at any of the 10% stocks in after hours, they're probably owned by Buffett, right? UnitedHealth Group, yep. It's funny. What else? Some on my radar. Yeah, and Intel. This is I live near a lot of their factories. It's kind of crazy. I was talking, actually my nurse that gave me my iron infusion, her husband's been working at Intel for 25 years. And he said he had a lot, they had a lot of options. And I think it was around, when was it? I think it was actually around one of their lows. And they, when I got it, and I was like, I have a good feeling maybe, you know, something's going to happen with the company. I was like, don't worry. I was like, and the crazy thing is they're building a lot of factories here, you know, for AI and stuff. So it's nice to kind of see that. What is up? Almost 10%. It's over 10%. So it's more. 12%. Okay. That's good. Oh my gosh. Kevin Bambro, my buddy. You know, you guys know Kevin Bambro. He's made 36 million in the last couple of weeks. He put millions in this penny stock, which graphene, right? This thing has gone to the moon and they're just getting started. He put millions of dollars in over here. So he's worth, it's worth over at $2, it's like 36 million plus dollars. So he sent me a private message and we were talking about it. And I was like, when you become a billionaire, you invest in my new hedge fund because I want to start a hedge fund. And I've been practicing, by the way, if you haven't, while I was been, you know, fixing my health, I've been the series SIE 65, been doing all that stuff, studying. So yeah, greetings from, oh, got a Swiss person from here in the chat right now. Very nice. You guys gonna lower drug prices for us, right? So we can make some more money. Yeah, he owned. Oh, so he owned in you. He sold part of it. Okay. He added Nucor. Got it. I need to keep chat right here so I can see it. Walgreens. I still have options in Walgreens. That was one. Walgreens could be a massive winner too, if it got stolen, guys. It got stolen out from under us. This is a very rare thing. Sycamore stole this company. Ridiculous. They got this company for pennies, guys. This company should have never been sold for that. Now, it still might, like my options, some of my leaps were out, obviously, so they'll expire worthless. But they were 3 years out almost. I got as far out, but they literally stole them from me. I mean, I can't be too mad at the company, but they're going to face a lot of issues soon. I think antitrust because of healthcare and going private. They do the same thing with, you know, other companies like Office Depot and stuff. They get lots and lots of debt and just pay themselves billions in dividends. And Senator Warren already sent them a letter basically warning them. So I think there might be some antitrust stuff. The shareholders, they had the shareholders in their hand. They were like, yeah, we'll do it. But there is no way this company could really raise their free cash flow too, especially with pharmacy, big pharma lowering their prices. And PBMs, the primary benefit managers, is a big PBM thing going on. That was part of my thesis. And yeah, they stole it. They stole it right from out from under us. I don't even know why I have it on the day mark. Let's go to the monthly. And it was turning around too, guys. Look at this. If you look at Walgreens, it was turning. Actually, I like to do the 6 month. I think the 6 month's even crazier chart of all time. This thing was turning around right here. Look at this. And then boom, got stolen out from under us. This was when we bought at the bottom over here, and they stole it. This thing would have been a massive runner long term. Like I said, with the PBM reform potentially, because because that's who mess up their margins, the primary benefit managers. Basically, it's kind of like the office, the Dunder Mifflin. They're basically like, they're getting screwed by basically Dunder Mifflin, the PBMs. They don't need them. They could just go to the supplier and get them themselves, right? And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so I'm not in that. SoFi, same thing. You guys were asking about SoFi. I think I actually bank with them now. I do have some SoFi, but as far as a stock, I don't buy. I haven't bought them. I do see long term when rates cut. Another one with PayPal probably do a lot better then. I think this is kind of risky sector, but the chart kind of looks interesting, right? A long-term cup and handle one to form? Maybe. Yeah. That PayPal, $69, PayPal. And this could have been avoided, guys. Had management got Alex Chris in sooner, and then they let him do the what he should have been doing, giving a little better outlook instead of sandbagging, would have been nicer. Yeah, I appreciate all the follows, guys. We'll be doing this a lot more, okay? I know it's kind of crazy just going on live here. It's been a while. What else, guys? Any more stuff you want me to look at, or questions, or just chat? Having some fun. It's a great day. I should have a little cigar, right? I mean, we're still just getting started, though, guys. We're just getting started. This is gonna be a long run up. Look at this. We're right here. And you know what? Because of the after hours, we are now in meta territory. Same, I think within the first week, it was up. Meta was 20, first week and a half from the bottom. It was up 25+%. And we've broke that. We're at like 28%, I think, right here. If we open more than 300, which we could get it might get a little squeezy. But like I said, if retail jumps in and then Buffett and these companies are like, dang it, now we got to buy heavy. Could get crazy. Plus, flight to safety today, numbers came in a little hot. I think it's going to be, like I said, I talked to Lewis earlier. I left him a message and I was talking to him about UnitedHealth Group, because we've been talking about it a while. But I just basically told him, I said, I think that we're just seeing that type of lumpy type numbers come out because of tariffs, and it'll probably balance out within the next few months. And I think I think we should still cut. I think we should have cut a long time ago. I think it's one of the problems. That was one of the thesis points too for my finance type stocks. And that's kind of why I left. And I said, I don't want to be in a sector, because it's, in a sense, it's like a cyclical sector. Kind of like you can't really help it if oil prices are dumped and they run oil to zero, they literally run it in negative oil pricing. So, I mean, what can you do? Like, you don't want to be in that at the time. So until I see like rates cut, like I don't see as much value in fintech right now, but I do see like PayPal. I do see it as a phenomenal move that they're making, especially it's part of my thesis. I said they should really push overseas, and they were, and look what they're doing. PayPal world is next level stuff. So yeah, you guys saying your calls are going to be printing tomorrow. Yeah, mine too. I think tomorrow's probably going to be one of the best days. It's crazy. Joel Becker, you said 28%. How do you join the Discord? There's a link down below if you guys want to talk to me in there and stuff. It's I'll do videos too. I'll go live in there. That's what I've been usually doing, like earnings stuff. But I think it's probably better to start doing some of the stuff live on YouTube too. What were we saying? 22%, Joel? 28%. Oh, from the bottom? Yeah. Is it 20? 28? I mean, it got down to 243. Yeah. And we're talking after. We don't know what it's going to open tomorrow. But it was. I'll do this for you. So 234, I mean. I don't know why it's doing. Oh, it's because it's off a little. I have 6 monitors, guys. So it was off. And so I didn't want to go. Oh. What do you guys think? What is it? At 300? 28%? Probably break 28% tomorrow. So yeah, we're right on line with Meta. So yeah, that's a pretty fast move. That's quick, guys. How many? Let me actually see the days. Was that Friday? So we're talking just within didn't even get the bottom there. We're talking just a few days ago. I don't know why it's doing that, guys. Oh, is it because of that? Oh, I had the magnet on. That's why it was doing that. Yeah, we're talking 13 days overall, so less than 2 weeks ago. And trading days, it's even less, right? So just within a few, like 7 trading days, 8 trading days, right? It's been massive. Oh, but that actually didn't, I don't even think I got that on the right. Was that Friday? Yeah, Friday. Yeah, crazy times, right? August 1st. So yeah, that was August 1st. And now, yeah, so 2 weeks. Not bad. But as far as trading days, what? This will be 9 trading days since then? Woo! It'll be 10 trading days tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday, right? So, yeah, that's some good, impressive stuff, right, guys? That's some crazy moves in a big stock, right? I wonder why. Well, if you're just joining us, you can see that our, oops, I think I have it here. You can see that the shares, the rest of the float, I tweeted a lot today, by the way. You found me because of UnitedHealth Group? Yeah, Joel. I'm going to be covering, I want to be the number one, person talking about it. I have a good amount invested in it. I think I do believe in the company. So just so you know, I have invested in it for the past week and a half or so. So it's not investment advice, but yeah, if you're just joining us, there is not many shares out there when you see Buffett buying a ton of shares. Was it 15 million? How many did he get? It was a 5 million. That's right. 15, I think I added up a few other ones. But when you see, there's not many out there. Probably less than this, I honestly think, by now. You also found me? Texas? Because of UNH? Yeah. It'll probably be, if I keep covering this, and by the way, I find news that most people don't even put 2 and 2 together. Like we need to be watching the primary benefit stuff that the government's doing right now. We need to be watching all the pharma news. All this plays into UnitedHealth Group breaking $1,000. Obviously looking and seeing what those types of things are doing for the sector, because that's really bullish. The health sector, what AI is doing, because remember, AI is going to help drop costs long-term too. We've seen that first initial lumpiness in their earnings because of costs, but also all the people that were coming in were initially getting a lot of their surgeries done now. So then when a lot of people are done with them, then you start to see that drop off. So I think costs, they're going to raise the rates, and then costs are going to come down crazy. Okay. Oh, you bought options just before close? What? Wait, 1 minute? Oh man, you are so lucky. Oh, you're going to print tomorrow. Were they, what were the options? Were they leaps or were they near term? Because if they're near term, oh, they're really going to print, especially depending what you got. Yeah. Optum, UnitedHealth Group, insights more efficient and accurate via AI. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big thing. I was reading in their 10Q. They don't want to replace all their workers with AI, obviously. They want real people, but they do think that it's going to be a very positive thing long term. Not only cutting costs, but efficiency, getting people in and out. And what I think, and I've already seen in my own family, we've already used LLMs ourselves and our doctors to find things and just make us a lot more healthier, So initial costs, these hospitals and stuff are going to charge more a little bit because of the healthcare stuff that they're having to pay for, the new tech, those things. And that's a great thing. If people are healthier longer term, that's my big thesis. My big thesis with Meta was there's going to be more users, there's going to be more ads, and more people are going to get the internet. And it's just a basic kind of outlook. And guess what? That happened. There's going to be more people getting insurance. Insurance rates are going to raise. Just like Meta, they cut costs. They got rid of people. Here, they can get rid of some people, cut costs. AI is going to lower pricing for them long term. They can get remember, they won't get the MCR down under 80% because legally, and some of you guys brought that up. Legally, they can't do it. They can do it for their private stuff, but anything they get paid from the government, it's going to be 80% or so. It's like as low as they can get the cost down. So they kind of like have, obviously their free cash flow will be a certain amount in that sector. But remember, every percent, it's a few $billions in free cash flow that they get it down to. So we're at 89, so they drop it down to 80. Oh my gosh. I mean, $1,000+ I think long term, easily for the stock, as long as they keep getting more people in. And my big thesis point is people are going to be healthy soon. People are going to start to be a lot healthier. Losing weight is the biggest. That's the biggest thing we've seen. And you guys, a lot of you guys are invested in Hims and Lilly, a lot of companies that are helping people. Now, no matter what you believe, remember, try to leave politics and these things out of it. But obesity rates, obviously, in America are crazy high. And it's not necessarily everyone's fault in America. They were given bad food a lot of times. Some of it's literally poison. In other countries, it's illegal. So you see massive obesity. And this is the 50 states, guys. This is an average. And this was in 2022. I bet it's more because COVID, there was a lot more people. You got people out here in this range, like a lot of the people, right? 1 in 5 adults. So if it can just cut us down to here, the savings I'm estimating is going to be ridiculous amounts because these people cure a lot of their diseases. And then if you get pharmacy costs coming down, woo, it's going to be great. And this is a great thing for people because more people will be able to, then maybe their insurance premiums will be even less. That would be great. But their margins will be good enough that they can give it back to the people that, they're insured, right? So that's the great thing, obviously, even if it goes below 80%, the MCR. So it's going to benefit people long term. And I think that's what people don't understand is this company is not evil. Okay. There are bad people in it and believe me, they're trying to get them out. But the company was hit with lots of fraud and black swans that messed them up big time. We're talking, leaking all this data and they were extorting them. So yeah, they didn't have time to adjust the premiums like they should have. They were really concentrating on that. And I want you guys to also know, if you guys haven't seen some of my other videos, I've got some better charts here that I want to pull up too, that this is a positive thing because survival rates for cancer, and this is a little older data, but they haven't done this study since like 2019, right? And they stopped doing it for some reason. I wonder why. But look at the survival rates versus the past for cancer. Overall, this is great. And with AI and technology, this number is going to go up a lot more. People live longer. Means they're going to pay more long-term in insurance. You're going to have more people. You're going to make more money. You cut costs down. Your free cash flow is going to be, maybe it'll be 40 billion eventually, as much as like Meta, right? And when you have less shares than Meta, your stock goes thousands and thousands of dollars because the institutions, they're going to hold them. They get paid a dividend. They're going to keep holding this and they want a lot because that dividend is real nice for a fund. Like a dividend that safe, it's not going to be cut either. Because I mean, they're still bringing in 15 billion free cash flow and 25 billion on the trailing 12 months. And it should be, my opinion, if they get the cost down, it'll be 30 billion. When they get the cost down, raise the premiums up. And this isn't even the greatest chart. I think one of the other ones where a lot of people don't understand in America, and this number is probably changed a little too, but if you can see here, Americans can pay these premiums, okay? Americans spend the same amount for their health care that they are for their entertainment and their fast food, which they probably should cut this out a little bit, right? They can pay for their health care, okay? And the thing is, a lot of people are paying way too much for transportation. I mean, people are buying $100,000 Teslas now, right? They probably shouldn't. And some of them their APR, it's ridiculous, right? The rates. So you are seeing issues there, but people are still going to pay for healthcare. So it's not going anywhere. So that's one of my other thesis points. And you just gotta, if you really want to see the long-term effects of this, they're going to be gaining tons of free cash flow. Now, this is a little older, but these big companies here, these companies are going to be lowering their prices for America. And guess what? Insurance companies are going to have a golden swan like we've never seen before. Because if these companies don't, they're going to be hit with lawsuits. They're going to be hit with investigations. They'll find stuff. Trust me. These companies are not going to have a perfect closet. They're going to have a lot of skeletons in these closets. This was in like 2020 from this chart? Just kind of give you a little visual. These companies make a lot of money, and 2/3 of it comes from America. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. And this is just kind of a visual too. I like all these charts, by the way. This is the sector, and who's the leader and who's going to benefit the most? UnitedHealth Group, and this is actually smaller. Our market value was recently 200 or so billion. That's why I was buying hand over fist, because it was being treated like a company going bankrupt. The company's not going bankrupt at all. And the other thing is, those other companies that you saw, they have, once the institutional ownership, you count them out, they have a lot of shares left, meaning you don't get a big piece of the pie. But the other part, and I haven't added this data, it's going to take me a while to do, but the diluted shares outstanding for some of these other companies, it would change this over here. So it's like 108 million or 28 billion worth, right? Number one, that's how much it would take if you really wanted to buy out the company, technically. Now on paper, it's not going to happen. But if you dilute that out, this number maybe only goes up to 30 something billion. But some of these companies, it goes up to like 3, 4, 5 trillion. Some of these go from like literally where they're at hundreds of billions to 500 billion, because they have so much that they might dilute. That's why I really like this company too. Share structure is everything in a stock. You got to know who owns it, because I've been in companies, especially at biotechs, where it's 90+% institutionally owned. They fail a phase 3 and the stock drops 90%. Like everyone sells, and it's like, it's gone, you know? And a lot of people, a lot of retail don't ever check these things. And this is data out there that I think is very important for when you're talking about a stock like this, right? So this is going to be something we're going to continue to check. And I'll post a lot of these numbers. I'll probably do videos on it later, but I'll post them in the Discord once I get them, so we can kind of look through all the S&P 500 companies and say, hey, what's the best company? And right now, it's UnitedHealth Group still, even if it hits 300 plus tomorrow. If we also do diluted shares outstanding, which I'll eventually do, it's probably going to be UnitedHealth Group, because their diluted shares outstanding is still pretty low compared to a lot of other companies out there in the market, specifically that we track. You know, like just because a company has a lot of diluted shares outstanding doesn't make it bad. That's not what I'm saying. But if you look at a stock like this, and I like to keep it on the chart, their diluted shares outstanding only 929 million. So that's great. Some other companies, it's far, far worse. And if we go into the financials, so you guys are asking this trading view. This is great. There is a discount below if you guys are wanting it. But one of the things, if you actually look at some of the info here, you can see ownership here. These are free float and then closely held shares. I actually really like when a company is mainly free float, because you don't get screwed as much from from stocks I've been in through the years. That's usually how it works. You don't have like a lot of people that will just dump on you, right? That can do it at any point, potentially. So I really do like that. Now, another thing long-term, I think a lot of the earnings has been lumpy. We're looking long-term, this company, it's got massive upside, and trying to find it here. I think maybe it's in this one. Just the company's just way too undervalued for what. I think I'm on this one. I think on the web, this is the digital version, desktop version, I mean. So some of the stuff's moved around. So yeah, they're projecting the revenue out here. I think it's because this is up. That's probably why. They're projecting the revenue to go out to, I believe, 520 billion by late 2027 projections. So this is going to be massive if they can get the free cash flow and everything under control and the costs. So this is one of the reasons why I've been, like I said, buying hand over fist. These margins, get them up a little bit, and yeah, it's gonna be a nice thing. And then of course they're still paying dividend, and that's another thing why these funds are buying in, guys. It's a safe dividend. Flight to safety is coming very soon, and we're starting to see the move. They move in the stock. Look at that, 300. What do you guys think tomorrow? Do we have 300? Do we hit 300 or we break it? Because I think it's going to squeeze a little bit. We break through 300. Hey, Bay Ray, appreciate the sub. Yeah, I see your picture. You're in a cowboy hat. I see you on Twitter, I think, don't I? Yeah, you found me on YouTube. That's cool. Appreciate it. Yeah, I noticed, guys. I have a good memory. I try to read and reply to all the comments and stuff too. Let's see. Was a little skeptical about UNH 2 months ago, but after their earnings, you bought more. It's just bad news. This has been driving down UnitedHealth Group. I'm buying heavily. Good. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not telling anyone to buy this, but I think long term it's very safe. And the other thing is, it's not like this ain't penny stock or anything, right? This is the biggest investors in the world are buying it, and that just confirms our thesis. So, as a retail investor, we're not always going to be right, but right now, and there's some other things. This is something funny. Some retail traders have been doing crazy things like this. Took $100,000 from our house sale and bought 303 shares of UnitedHealth Group, and his average cost basis was $327. I bet you his wife probably wanted to divorce him a week or two ago. But guess what? If he breaks 300 tomorrow, he's probably, and if he averaged down, he bought more. maybe he could, salvage his relationship or something. But now my wife, same thing. My wife knows. She actually for her job was involved in this sector and stuff. Not particularly in UnitedHealth Group, but she knows all about this way more than me even. But she said, yeah, like that's ridiculous. This is a good buy. So she's been supportive. We didn't sell any of the house, but we went in heavy. So yeah, I was going to look at, let's look at Wall Street Bets more. Is there any other posts on Wall Street Bets? There's a lot of funny comments. This is UnitedHealth Group. A lot of comments people are saying. I just kind of want to get the retail sentiment. And obviously you guys talking about it too. I get some of the sentiment here. Just because retail is bullish, it doesn't mean it's a negative thing. I mean, when you have Buffett and people buying, they're going to be bullish after the fact. I mean, who's going to try to go against Buffett? Like maybe some people to get the views, right? But it's kind of funny. Some people are making jokes. You should not be surprised Buffett's buying, but by how much the stock went up, because Buffett bought it just shows how clownish the market is and how much momentum and option hedging is driven. I mean, I wouldn't call it necessarily clowning. I think maybe clowning is buying a stock that has no free cash flow and is trading like 200-300x. That's you're buying one day options or something, and that's kind of clown. I think this is a lot safer. I mean, this has been the number one stock though on Wall Street Bets. So yeah, core PPI, that's another thing a lot of people talking about. If you're just joining us, I think it's going to be lumpy. I don't think it's going to be an issue long term. What else are people saying? 13Fs. Oh yeah, we already know. See, a lot of people, and you guys know, I was saying, I made jokes and I said, Buffett, I think it's a position he could buy, but I wasn't getting my hopes up. I've been, in the past, seen people talk about it and think Buffett's going to buy, and then the stock drops down after 13Fs come out. It's like, who cares? Like, there were way bigger buyers of this stock, right? $500 million. Was it Renaissance? Like almost 400. So it's like big trades, largest trades. Yeah. Dodge and Cox was 2.78 billion. So even bigger than Buffett. And if we're looking overall, like who owns it, some big names here. Yeah, 1.86 billion here, 6 billion. Geo Capital Management, 6.65 billion. Their average is 252. Man, they're doing great this year. And they're going to do phenomenal. This manager is going to make so much. Damn. Yeah, State Street, like BlackRock, like obviously they're going to be buying for their clients because there was a failure to deliver, and they probably expected this to jump up pretty high, as time went on. There's some great names. I just can't even keep up with all this. Like, these are people. Now he sold out, or sold most of it. Oh wait, no, that was Viking who sold out. He just sold. He didn't sell too much, right? Still owns a good amount. Yeah, and these, oh man, all these were filed. This was all Q2, so these are all new. Wow. Look at the percentage. Look at all the new ones first. Jonathan Bloomberg, okay. I mean, all this adds up, guys. You saw that there's maybe 100 million free float left. Look at this. Millions coming in. And this was last Q2. So imagine, are they going to be buying even for cheaper? Now, rest in peace, Simmons. Look at that. 421 million. So it wasn't over a billion, 1.4 billion, but still. You know, Jim Simmons, rest in peace. The greatest fund in the world, long term, is buying it. I wonder why. Now, here's another thing. So I think people, and I did a tweet on this. I want to show you guys. I don't think people are quite understanding. Actually, it was on here. I'll just show you the tweet. So they're not understanding how April was such an anomaly and why it really caused the stock to go down. I think I posted it here. Yeah, here it is. So look at this. So, I wonder why the first big drop, the S&P 500 was down 21% in April, guys. The algos, it created the perfect opportunity for this mega cap to drop. Retail dumped it, and it created a massive opportunity here. Almost right when we were near bottom in the S&P 500. Perfect timing for the algos. Everything was risk off, right? People were like, oh, this is going to be scary. And it really created a perfect storm. You don't see this a lot. And because it's a very small, that free float, 110 million shares, you had record volume selling during this time. Look at the volume. That dumped it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the stock should actually have been that low. But it gave us an opportunity. This is very similar to what Meta did, guys. This is very similar at that long, because it dropped 20% when we were watching earnings at 2022, and then Jim Cramer cried, and then next few days, that's when I was like, okay, Cramer's crying, saying he was wrong, calling it a bad stock. But that's kind of what this did. Now, it wasn't to that extent, but it was very fast because it was like $600, right before this, and very quickly dumped. But there were people buying up. Yeah, some people are going all in on UnitedHealth Group. I wouldn't suggest, you got to do your own research, but at this point, it's like we probably got near the bottom, like 240, 243, 244. It's probably near the bottom. Now, the other thing is, if we're looking at the chart, I already have these. So the charts are going to be a lot bigger. I mean, obviously, we're going to be a lot higher. Sorry. But just if you want to just look at from the big view, 600 plus, we've got a lot of gaps to fill coming up. And look at the big volume shelf here. We've already broke past that in after hours. So this is probably going to get ate up. We're probably going to be starting to fill into this gap, 330 or so, very soon. So, and then obviously the other big gaps, these were the anomalies. Boom, boom. Just hardly any trading, hardly any volume in here. Just dump. Retail, cause it. So we're going to start to see the recovery. Yeah, we're up 27, 28% in the last 2 weeks, but we're far from where we should be, I think, in this. So yeah, busting back into this gap fill, I think, just off the technicals. And if funds are still going to be loading and then retail's coming in, it's going to be one of those long-term fund plays, man. And this was another thing, part of my thesis. So the Democrats, they have a bill. So Protecting Healthcare and Lowering Costs Act. This is signed by almost every Democrat and some independents as well. This will be what they're going into. This has already been referred to the Senate Finance Committee. This is what they're going to use as leverage to when the government's going to vote for shutdown and everything. So like if they don't pass the budget, the government could shut down. So I think that they're going to use this literally to get this passed, what this will do. It's a lot more bullish for UnitedHealth Group, companies like this that kind of projected a lumpy next few years outlook for healthcare. And the government basically saying, yeah, we're not going to pay as much. Now, they've got a lot of other revenue streams. It's still going to be a good thing. But if you look at this, you're going to say, okay, could they use this as leverage? And I think the other thing is there are a lot of people on the right all over also probably like, yeah, we want we want something like this to go through. Like, you got to repeal some of the stuff that the Republicans potentially did in the big, beautiful bill. It gets rid of some regulation that it really hurt UnitedHealth Group's outlook. And this also removes some restrictions that cuts some of the bureaucracies. And what it does, it really rolls back a lot of the cost shifting that the big, beautiful bill imposed. So I think, doesn't matter if you're on the left, if you're on the right, if you're in the center, if you don't even care. This type of thing going into where they'll have leverage when they're voting with the government budget, they might be able to get this actually passed. Because if not, they're already pretty angry right now, right? So if not, then who cares? They're still going to raise premiums. The government's still going to pay them. But if this goes through and then this is another golden swan, wow. Like, it could be at 600 very quickly. You saw the float. It could be one of the fastest moving stocks of this size we've seen in a while, right? So out of the S&P 500, it's one of the most still undervalued, even at 300 plus. Will people take profit? Maybe Burry will take profit. Jeez. I think maybe he didn't get that much. I think he's probably been buying. He's more like a swing trader, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what he does. I honestly think that this is a golden swan that will come into fruition soon. But yeah, guys, I mean, when you have this stream team coming in buying, like we've seen in UnitedHealth Group, I don't think that this is going to be a short-term thing. It's going to be a very, very long-term. And who knows who else is going to continue to buy. I'm excited for November. I'm going to be excited because there are a lot of funds out there that still haven't bought that really could push this up. Long-term out, we look out into November when these next quarter comes out. I expect this to be 2021. And let's look back at this. Let's look back and see what this ended up turning into. Because even a year ago, guys, this wasn't a year and a half ago. It wasn't much above this. So like funds were probably like, I wanted to buy it, but it's too expensive for me. I would love to have it. And when it gets down to 200, it was just trading at 600 recently. Of course, they're going to be like, yeah, I'll take some. So I'm excited to see where this goes. But yeah, guys, what else? I'm trying to answer any more questions we got. And if we don't get to your question, come into the Discord. We'll talk about it. But yeah, I'm going to start doing these more. If you're starting a hedge fund, by any chance, are you seeking a quant? Actually, I am actually looking for a quant. I've been talking to a few good people and some people that have actually potentially wanted to back my fund because I want to do like a hybrid type deep value style fund. That's why I've been really, my bread and butter, like nuclear energy, uranium. I mean, catching bottoms on those. Got really lucky, but being able to trade them like right now, like like Centrus Energy, like the pullbacks 50% every few times. If you can time those right, I mean, it's phenomenal. And if you follow the news and you find out the news before even you see it in the US, sometimes like stuff in Russia that I follow, and it's definitely helped me. So yeah, I would be interested in maybe looking for a quant. Oh wow, your mentor was a student from Peter Lynch. Okay. Very nice. Yeah. I would definitely email me or something. Let me know. But yeah, I've been coming up with like some stuff for the fund specifically. Like I said, I've been doing SIE Series 65. I take those very soon. So been studying like crazy. So like the past 9 months, and it's helped me as an investor, guys, too. I'm not just some YouTuber picking random stocks. Finding value and really learning even more how the market works. Like I've been in the market, when I first joined the military almost 20 years ago, I started trading the market, penny stocks, gold stocks, getting my, butt handed to me. Sometimes I found some really good runners, that would run up a couple 100%, that were talked about in message boards and stuff that we would talk about back in the day, but really learn how the market works and being able to make a great amount of money trading and investing and help other people too. That's the thing, is being a retail investor, being able to post stuff, about it. My thesis, posting my thesis on UnitedHealth Group at the bottom again, finding another bottom that I'm very vocal with. Now, I can't always find the bottom. I can't always find these great deals in stocks long term, but I also made like a mock fund, like specifically my hedge fund. I won't say the name and everything yet, but because like there are legal things that like later on down the road, when you have a fund, you like past performance is obviously not indicative of future results, right? Doing this does not mean that my fund will do well if I ever create one. But what I was saying was with doing my research and stuff, just being vocal about it, it's kind of nice to see it actually play out. And I have had people approach me and stuff before that ask me, like, and especially overseas in like Europe, you can do like eToro and people can like follow you and trade, but like the regulations in America don't allow you to do that. But yeah, probably it's going to be a hybrid fund. I think probably in the Caymans, a pass-through fund. So probably have investors overseas and stuff as well. That's who, probably will initially do it. But as far as trading and stuff, it's going to definitely be deep value, energy, stuff I really know. And, long-term holds for a lot of stuff. The other thing is, like, I was approached and I didn't get into a few, like, if we're looking at the chart, I'll show you. There was some, like, pre-rounds of some energy stocks that asked me to get in, like Nano Nuclear at a dollar pre-round. This thing's ran to, what, 37 recently? $37. So, oh, and I told Kevin Bambro, by the way, I said, Kevin, if you become a billionaire, maybe I'll even ask him if he hits 100 million, because he's up 36 million right now on his graphene stock. I was like, Kevin, if you become a billionaire, you're gonna seed round me in my fund, right? He's like, we'll talk. I was like, all right. So Kevin, he's the one that called uranium back in the early 2000s, and now he's called uranium when we were in 2020 around that time I did, and I made documentaries on him and stuff. And the stock he's in now is just it's performing like crazy, right? So he's put millions, and he's up. If you're just joining now, he's up I think 36 million or so. And he's saying, and I know it's a little too crazy out there, he thinks because they have patents and stuff for this graphene, it can be a big part of the future. He says the stock could be $1,000. So I think I did the math. I think he'll be like worth 68 billion. So if he actually gets that much, if he gets $1 billion, hopefully he'll invest. Give me a seed round, and I can really, I'm still young. I'm still starting this stuff, but I've found some good plays, and yeah, that valueinvestor.com, the website, it's a good place to find some stuff. But a lot of people, they don't like I think my LU Centrus Energy post, they called it like dumpster stock back in the day. It's like $3. These big investors, like people that I've talked to, call it dumpster stocks, and they were shorting Centrus Energy at like $3-4, and now the stock recently hit 250. So you can't, those type, they can't invest in those things anyways, like the big funds, right? But there were people that were like shorting that stock back in the day, and it's kind of funny that some of my long-term theses have played out. Rolls-Royce has been massive, right? I think it's like thousands of percent now, guys, since we made this video. This is another one. It's because I worked on their engines too. Like the motors were phenomenal, right? I think this is even outdated. I think I put that just as a reminder. 2,000%, guys, since we did those videos. Such a good stock, right? Yeah, I have thick skin, of course. Oh, you're back in the UnitedHealth Group at 300? Yeah, I have thick skin. Bro, I was in the military, okay? I was in the literal Coast Guard and the U.S. Navy, active duty. I definitely have thick skin, and I can give it back too. Those funds that were shorting Centrus Energy, I have receipts too. Me and Kevin were making fun of them in 2020. We're like, you're going to get your ass handed to you. And they did. They were shorting stocks that went up thousands of percent. And they're like, I covered. But no, these funds, yeah, I got thick skin. And then through the years, I kind of like, at first, I kind of took it a little more personal, sometimes. But when they're making fun of you and stuff. But it's like, okay, And a lot of funds that have to report, you can kind of see their track record. It's like, bro, you missed the big runs and a lot of stuff, but yeah. What else, you guys? You think the UnitedHealth Group's gonna be 302 tomorrow? Woo! 320. I can see it. Probably not. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah. So it's probably not gonna. I don't think it'll hit 320 tomorrow. I mean, maybe. I did say, kind of off record, I was like, if Buffett buys, I said it'd probably run up 20%. But 20%, when I said the comment, it has run up 20%, I think, since then. So do we get 20%? Maybe 10% tomorrow. minimum, right? So yeah, you said interesting to see how I structure my thesis. It's great to see. Yeah, this is just a kind of like a little portion of my thesis. So I think what's very important nowadays is to be able to, obviously, you want to buy a stock that's cheap nowadays, but you still want a stock that the market doesn't just put off forever, kind of like PayPal. Like that's one that I mean, it worked out for me when I first got in, it was 50 and it went to 93. So, I mean, that's not a bad move. And then, but where it's at right now, 69 plus, drop back. It's like, I'm done with it for now. Like when rates cut, I might come back. But as far as like my long-term thesis on a lot of these plays, they've just been phenomenal. Like I think the one that hasn't worked out lately has been Walgreens, and it's not really, the thesis didn't change. I think it would have already been 20 plus bucks. They're buying out. They sold out. They literally screwed all long-term investors, man. So, I mean that, and I still consider PayPal kind of like a win, buying at 50 goes to 93, doesn't, they don't play out. It takes too long for my, if I was a part of the company, if I just was working at the company, I was in charge and these things were happening, I probably wouldn't want to be there. I probably would want to go too. That's the same thing. That's the way I treat the investment. It's like I own a portion of the company, right? So I thought that they'd sandbagged a little too much. In this market, you can't sandbag. If you sandbag in this market, the market's going to punish you. Even Amazon got hit hard. I mean, they're starting to recover, but they got hit hard on earnings, right? It was over 10%. I think they dropped. Oh, is my thesis in the Discord? Yeah, all my thesis, there's like 150,000 posts, I think, in there already. So we've had this since like 2019, 2000. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff in there. And you can like just search, and there's the search bar at the top so you can see it. But like I said, a lot of my stuff I don't always go public with, stocks or ideas. I've been watching like other things. So like Delic, DK, that stock buying at 15 bucks, it ran to 27, took some profits, had options in that. But those were only out to like 9 months. So traded that. Cord Energy was another one. Target. I still think Target long term, but tariffs, you're starting to see a little bit of issues still with like tariffs, obviously. Yeah, good to see you guys in there. It's been fun doing this live. Like I said, this is the time I think that this time in the market is really going to be retail's time in the market. Their history is going to be made here, I think, in the next few years, because we have access to instant information now. LLMs really help out. You can put a 10Q in there and really dissect it. Now you don't want it to just tell you everything. You want to go in, like you want to be learning and you want to ask it questions. And if you ever watch Keith Gill's stuff, which I've watched all his videos, tried to learn a lot from him. Because remember, Keith Gill in like 2010 started the fund, and he was a part of a company that was actually making like their own Bloomberg terminal, and he has like 6 or 7 of his like FINRA license. So this guy knows more about the market than pretty much every YouTuber out there. Like he's very humble, right? He could make 8-hour live videos and kept talking about the stocks and stuff. And I want to be like that as well. I want to be humble enough and learn. And the funny thing is, sometimes these hedge fund managers don't know what they're talking about. Like we've covered it before, where a hedge fund manager, the founder, thought that PayPal, they said that its big competition was Venmo, and no one even called her out on it. Like, do you know that they own them? So it's just like people make mistakes and stuff, and it's like, but having like an LLM, you would have known that. You'd have been like, okay, but LLM, via the 10Q, PayPal, I see that people are saying that Meta and Apple and Venmo are going to eat their lunch, and it probably would have corrected you and said, hey, they own Venmo, so like you don't make yourself look like an idiot live on TV like she kind of did. But it's definitely the time. And the other thing is T+1 I was talking about earlier. T+1 has really changed things. I think that's why these big drops in the market, like we saw the 21% S&P 500 dropping, ran up real quick, right? When market, you can clear your money a lot faster. Because remember, back in the 80s when we had the big market drops, right? Because of a lot of issues we might be seeing now too. Like I think if we have another drop, it's going to be kind of like the late 80s drop. But you had T+5 back then. So it took 5 days for your funds to settle, right? 5 days. I mean, the market nowadays could be dropped and already start recovering ridiculous amounts by then. So yeah, T+1's pretty cool. Would Kevin be the first to make $68 billion with a single company? That's a good point. I don't think he'd be the first. I think Buffett's made more than that from a single company. Buffett's made more than that from Visa, Geico, and all those. Like, he's made more than that for sure. I think he's made more than that in dividends, guys. That's why dividends are great. If you're, because I think Buffett's going to probably, like, he'll be long and gone, and they'll probably still be holding this for them. Thoughts on ban trading for politicians? They'll find a way. What they're saying with the ban, I think they'll be able to, their spouses potentially will still be able to do it. Because like then like Nancy Pelosi, I always thought it was funny. They thought she was trading like it's really her husband. Like if he's getting the info still from her, it's still him, you know, buying, making the trades. So Patterson, UTI, those I still have some options in Patterson. I bought a few more for oil. They're in the oil sector, but they're on the end where they're more for, they're not actively like drilling. They're to help the companies, right? Like a tender or something. So I would say Patterson, I'm not really too happy with how it's turned out for the stock. I was buying Delek. If I'm in oil, it's been Delek and Cord Energy. So I still have those. I've taken a lot of profits though, because we bought at 15 on Delek. I did my thesis. Go check the Discord. I think it's in the pinned comments. I go through everything. And I posted, actually, by the way, if you guys were asking earlier, I posted my thesis of Delek after I posted in there. I think I did a little bit on Twitter, but I also did it in value investing. I'm like, I've been like through there a lot, but I never applied for a membership because there was like too much like they had too many like AI fake stuff, so they didn't let you. But I posted my Delek thesis at like when it was like 15, and the stocks ran up to like 27, but they didn't accept it. But there's a lot of good stuff for Delek. So one of the things is they're like just their market cap, they're almost going to be able to get in a refund. So from the government, and we've not seen this since Trump's first term. So a lot of stuff behind the scenes no one really knows about with that company. So that was pretty good. So yeah, the go-to channel for UnitedHealth Group. We'll be talking about UnitedHealth Group. Let's look at what is it about to close? It already closed. It's 5:21. Dang, I've been on here a while. So it closed. It was up like, what is it? After hours, 10%. So yeah, we're gonna see. It might squeeze a little, guys. I have to say, it might actually squeeze tomorrow because like 10% is good, but it might get to 20%. It really might. I mean, what else are you going to be buying in the market at this price? And retail is really who's going to do it. And if it is still number one, let's see if it's still number one on StockTwits. Probably is. Yep, number one trending, Wall Street Bets. Let's see, number one trending. It probably is. I'm guessing it. It's got to be. And it's actually bullish. Yeah, 216%, 332 mentions, and wow, 86% bullish. So it's even more than Nvidia. Right there with Intel. Look, Intel's 86 too. Tied, but less people are talking about it. Yeah, because we got that good news from Intel. But I also like give updates because remember, like when you're a long-term, investor, there could be some news that gets you out of a stock. Like you might not want to be in it. Like with say, UnitedHealth Group, if it starts to run up. I mean, honestly, long-term with this stock, it's a little different. I think because of the dividends too. A lot of the big funds are going to be continuing to add because that's good, for your fund. Getting a big dividend like that, it's pretty safe. This company's not going to go bankrupt. Like I said, whenever you have a stock that drops 50, 60%, there's usually in this market a risk for bankruptcies or the company's going to be split up or something like that. So we haven't really seen that with UnitedHealth Group. They're probably going to get a slap on their wrist like Wells Fargo. So yeah. Everyone's waiting for a positive sign to buy UnitedHealth Group, and you have a feeling that we might see 320 tomorrow. Woo! I hope so. I was gonna say a lot of people are gonna be probably change their lives from this stock. I've seen people put $1 million in it in options. I've seen people foreclose or sell portions of other stocks or even their house to get in this. Remember, this has been a 2+ month drop. So although it was quick from the 600s down to the low 200s last time, it's been a few months since then, right? And the market's recovered since then as well. Yet this stock is still in a depressed mode. So yeah. Massimo, I'm leaving pretty late here. Wish you all a relaxed evening. Hey, appreciate you hanging out with us. Trying to get to all these. Do I need also algos, Massimo? Potentially, if you're still there. Jumping on the 2x leverage. Oh, that's right. They did just create a 2. Oh my gosh. That 2x leverage, if this runs 20%, oh man, that thing's going to be up massive. What is the ticker on that? I forget. It's like UN. What is it? UN. I don't see it. Oh, it's HG. That's right. They have 4. Woo! All right. So like this funds or this ETF was started. It was very recent. Imagine buying it literally on the 22nd and it dropping that quick. So yeah, they're gonna be up massive. 61%. 13 days, bro. Dang. I thought I had it. I did have it here. Maybe I'll add it again. Also, if you guys, there's a link below to the trading view. You can have, I think there's a link in the Discord where I have all these stocks. You see this? All of these are listed. So I can share them with you guys in there. So everything I cover, all the sectors, you see how I do this? And whenever I add them or anything, they will be updated in here. So it's like things that I'm watching. So when we do get a market crash, just like Roaring Kitty did, remember he bought 100+ stocks during then. Keith Gill made like $5+ million when GameStop was under $1. He'd already made $5 million from other stocks. So the guy's a genius. He's a great retail trader, probably one of the greatest of all time. And that's how that's how he got his GameStop position last year up to 800 million at one point. And he's probably a billionaire. So you guys were asking earlier, is Kevin Bambro going to be the first for this position to get to $1 billion? I don't think that's his position will probably get to $1 billion for a while, but Keith Gill has already got that from technically a single stock. Now he did buy hundreds of stocks, like I just said, but that GameStop position was like worth like 800 million. And we don't know what his, account was and the other, his other accounts were. So yeah. What else, guys? You guys buying this tomorrow? Some of you? I mean, imagine, I think after hours, this thing popped hard. So dang, it was just $10 a few days ago. This is pretty cool. They have this though. You said, is it still Money Talks? Is it still a buy at 300? I mean, long term, my thesis, I can't tell you for you, but long term, I think this is, I think in the next few years, I usually don't give these price projections, but I think it could be $1,000 stock if they get the golden swans that I've been talking about. Long term, I said UNH. Yeah, long term, I think it's going to be a phenomenal deal. But I can't tell you, it's not financial advice. A lot of people, they probably think the same thing. You only have 26 shares as 274 average. Hey, that's still good. Still good, Money Talks. You got a better average than most of the super funds out there. I'll tell you that much. I think NNE will have support from the Department of Energy for some of the Golden Swan news coming. I do think they will. I have seen some of the people at the company that I've talked to, they're pretty happy and pretty bullish for the future, for sure. I wish I would have, I think the round for that at $1 was 50 grand. And I didn't actually see the email till after, like, this was a long email. And I looked in my Twitter, saw one of the guys that works for the companies. He follows me and stuff and messaged me again. And I saw it and I was like, and then I looked back and went through it. And he's like, oh, I sent you an email. And this was like a long time ago. And I was like, oh no. I was like, no, because it's like it's ran to $37. And yeah, I've missed so many opportunities, guys. Citrus Energy, like I could have just been chilling in Japan and just done nothing had I kept my original Citrus Energy positions from 2020. When I first bought into it, oh my gosh, I'm running up to 20 or 250. I think that'll be $1,000 stock someday. But as far as UnitedHealth Group, I think this is for sure going to be $1,000 stock if they get the golden swans, the cost cuts, and then long term they're going to be able to continue to grow. People get, that's if my thesis plays out where people are living longer, people are healthier, and Americans lose weight at the record levels, then oh yeah, easily $1,000 stock. What else? You don't need any golden swans, just multiple re-rates and yeah, adjustments. I agree. That was the other thing is you don't have to have these golden swans for them to get things back to the $600 range either. I think the golden swans help because they can very quickly be get the re-rate. That really helps the re-rate quickly. Yeah, I think it'll be a good thing. 63 shares you got at a 278 average. Nice. That's good. Like I said, I'm going to be probably averaging up on these options. I got a good amount already. But, I mean, right now, the stock's still in the will be tomorrow, probably in the 300s. And, a long-term projection over time, it's going to be a massive gain, right? And being able to lock in shares, too, like that's the other thing. Is this, each contract holds 100 shares. So locking them in at, say, 260 is phenomenal long-term because the intrinsic value, it's great. And, you have 2+ years out on some of these options. So 3% of your portfolio. Oh, see, that's not too much. You have 4K in stocks and 2.2 in options. There you go. Yeah, this is, especially if you're just starting out. I mean, not financial advice. I'm just saying that like the options in this have been already done phenomenal. So, I mean, just from the last 2 weeks, right? Because in a stock like this, the IV was at like 37%, 37 right now. It was even lower when I was buying some of the options this past week. And when you have a stock run up, a big stock like this, the option writers were not projecting Buffett, Warren Buffett, Michael Burry, Renaissance. They did not expect them to be buying this heavily. And I mean, I don't even think retail's been buying much yet. I think retail's going to start buying now. That's the thing. So yeah, I think so. I think that these options, oh my gosh. Guys, I haven't even looked at my option calculator. I'm a little bit, cause I save all that. I did post it in the Discord though, like, so you guys see. So all my, everyone that subscribes and everything and supports my work, my thesis, I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Cause through the years, it's been a little lonely just talking about stocks that were, sometimes they were hated. Sometimes people didn't care about them. Like I did 150 videos on uranium here, right? From 2020 on. And I'm trying to change my channel a little bit. I'm still going to talk about that. A lot of stuff behind the scenes in Discord. We cover uranium every day, and we're talking about it all the time. But I want to talk about the broad market where more people can buy and understand. And UnitedHealth Group, I think, was a good one for me to really kind of start doing this, the lives and stuff, and really show people that there is value at the peaks of the market, and there's value in stocks that everyone can buy, funds can buy, Buffett can buy. And I don't cross paths with Buffett a lot, but when I do and I'm buying something, it's like, I'm holding this. I'm probably going to be holding these for the next 2 years. And having a community is going to keep me in check because when you get 6-7 figures in profit, you want to sell. I mean, with Kevin Bambro being up, can you imagine being up, holy crap. So 36 million in profits in his graphene stock. And it's just $2 right now. And he's saying $1,000, man. And I've been following that since the very beginning. I was talking to Kevin about it, and he's really, really bullish. So maybe we'll start covering that too. But it is a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. And these are your first option contracts too that you got, and they're already up. And you had 2. Oh man, nice, very nice. Congrats. No, I don't. No, on Stock Twitch I just put Japan, just because I don't even know. I think I've had stock Twitch since 2017, but I love Japan. I actually might get a house there, but I'm on the West Coast of USA, so Pacific time. So it's 5:33 right now, so the market just closed. But Japan's the best country in the world, for sure. I love it. You'll have to take 60% off your size and position immediately. Hey, if that's the what you got to do, you got to do it. I will say, I will let you know that that maybe on a move like this, you might be kicking yourself in the butt later on down the road and saying, "Oh man, I should have just waited a little bit." But I can't tell you what to do. I will say that looking back on Meta, I wish I wouldn't have trimmed profits early on. I wish I wouldn't have trimmed. I wish I would have just held. I could have just went on vacation for the whole time. Same thing with Centrus Energy. All these stocks that I feel this conviction in, could have just went on vacation for next few years and, 7, 8 figure profits in some of these. I've left on the table for sure. So yeah. No on the 32 million. You didn't have a chance to see this live. My video has been helping you. I appreciate it. You guys can go back and watch this. I'll probably make an updated video because I know a lot of people. There's a lot to this video. We started at 3:30. I usually, if I do a live, it's usually a pretty long time because I try to catch up. I haven't been on here in 9 months. Had some health issues and fixed it. I owe zero shares in UnitedHealth Group. It's all options. It's over 100 now in options, different contracts. If you look back in the video, when I talked about them at least. I have them in the Discord. I just posted them like updated because I've been buying this last week, 2 weeks actually. So I made most of my buys were at the very bottom, and I like literally was saying like, guys, this is a massive opportunity for me. Yeah, I stood tall when everyone was hating. People go look at my my X post, guys. I did a lot of reminders. I was like, remind me in 2 years, remind me in 3 years. Some big accounts. Now I will say it is kind of funny. What is his name? You guys know the Shriek, right? What is it? What's his name? S-H-R Martin, right? How do you pronounce his name? Martin. What is it? Martin. Because I literally put, not mine. Martin Shree. What is his name, guys? Come on, chat. He posted, he replied to one of my things. The big guy who went to prison. Oh, Shriel. Oh, that's what it is, Shriel. Oh, not from me. Yeah. He posted... He replied back. Let's see if he said anything about UnitedHealth Group. Did he? He replied and said that I might be right. Because he had said, if you believe in AI superabundance, you short UnitedHealth Group. I was like, what? I was like, are you kidding me? Short it? And then someone had posted... Let me see. Let me see if I can find it in Discord, guys. Because I don't know exactly what post it was on. Someone was like, if you, someone posted my video and showed him my long thesis on it when it was dropping hard. And I was like, it'll be 1,000 someday. And he's like, he might be right. I think that's what he said. Let's see if he said. He right. Whoops. He might be right. Let's see. Did he say that? It's definitely in the Discord. Shriel, S-H-R-I-E-L. S-H-K-K-R. What do you guys think about that? Will I be right? Oh, here we go. I found it in the Discord. Boom, 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 boom. I think this was it. Yeah, here it is. So I'll just pull up the Discord and show you guys. It's right over here. This was it, the day. So this is my UnitedHealth Group post, and someone says, you want to have a laugh? And he's like, he could be right. He could be right. I was right. So he could be right. Let's should we reply back to him? Nah, I don't want to be... He seems like a pretty cool guy. I mean, he did charge a lot of people overcharged, but I mean, I think he's learned his lesson, right? He posts some good videos on YouTube. I think he does some good DD too. He knows the pharmaceutical stuff, but he's gonna get cooked if he's shorting UnitedHealth Group. So yeah, he said he could be right, right? Could be right. Sorry guys. Unless he deleted it. Unless he doesn't want to think I'm right. It's out there. It's out there somewhere. I just showed you. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, long investor. He's just starting. That's what I said earlier. He's literally just starting his position right now. Buffett. Like, it's a small position compared to, I think long term, he wants this to be another Geico, right, guys? Will the live stream be uploaded? I have to go sleep. Yeah, Ryan, I'll end up probably uploading this. I mean, there's been a lot on this. You guys, this has been fun. 2.5 hours. I'll probably upload it and maybe cut it a little bit. Have faith, bro. You're gonna get that back. He's been a fade. Yeah, maybe. He trades a lot, right? He's still got a lot of money, doesn't he? Dude, react to Wall Street best position for UNH. Oh, there's more? I can't even post there right now because my old account I deleted. Oh wait, so is there a new one? The Discord name, it's just Derek Quick. There's a link below for access to it. I don't have it open to the public, guys, because bots were crazy. People were pretending to be me in my own Discord and sending people that have been in here for 5-6 years, spamming them with like pretending to be me, and they would literally post the same picture of me, and like people actually almost fell for it. But yeah, so I have to do it private. Is there any you said there's a Wall Street Bets new post? Yeah, Buffett buys, let's see, latest 24,000 YOLO. Oh, a lot of UNH posts, yeah. Have the highest potential gain for tomorrow. Let's see what it is. 1 day. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be good. 1 day to expiration. What was it? A 300 call? 5,000% gain. That's gonna be good. Was that one of you guys? Will 10% sustain overnight? Oh heck yeah, of course it will. Oh yeah. How many did you get? Nice, nice. Yeah, these are gonna be, man, it's gonna be nice. Too bad they didn't buy a little more, right? What else we got here? Try to make it bigger for you guys. Oop. So you're saying, let's look and see what else people were saying. So yeah, we knew Buffett buys. Let's go. Yeah, same thing. People are pretty happy. You guys were right. See, people were saying, and I didn't want, because it has been a tactic for people to pump it up and then dump stock like that, you know? Yeah, the Discord is in the Patreon, you're asking. I think the bot, actually, that's the bot, it like posts. So if a lot of people were asking, so there it is, it posted it. 13F, yeah, same thing. Took yesterday's. Oh man, oh my gosh, did he say he closed it? Oh, that's what he closed at. Okay, good. I'm an idiot because I did the same thing. Oh, he did close it. Dang, this is what you're talking about. Okay, he just closed that. Oh man, left a lot on the table. That's not the bit. I seen some retail with millions in shares and options. 24K YOLO. This is gonna be nice tomorrow, probably. 250. Okay, nice. Wendy's. Everyone's saying Wendy's. Oh man, Wendy's or Tendies? More like Tendies. Oh, he bought. I think I've seen. Is this one of you guys? Been buying a bunch more. So far, Kyle in our Discord too. He's bought a bunch. I think we've got some. We like Lewis Morgan is our, like, he's bought the most. Like, guarantee, my buddy Lewis. He probably put $20 million into this, but just shares. He doesn't do options. So, and he bought. I think he bought more than that. I think he bought like 20+ million in Nike. When it dropped. So he's been deep value buying, guys, a bunch. But that's tiny. Like $20 million is tiny compared to, like, obviously the Buffett buys, and probably Buffett has $5 billion by now. If he has been buying over the last, because remember, that's lagging indicator. If he bought it during the first drop. The second drop, he might have been the big volume that we've been seeing. You never know. Plus they buy these off the market. Buffett could probably do, I mean, when you're Buffett, you can do whatever you want, or Berkshire Hathaway. Like he's retired. He's probably at home still making some calls, obviously. It's a big deal. You don't see UnitedHealth Group drop this much. No one really expected this. It's funny because I was actually looking at this stock last year. I was telling Lewis this, I think there in November last time I was posting some videos here, and I was looking at it. And because, you know, everyone knew Trump was coming in. It was one of the plays I thought that could be a little shaky with Trump. And yet Trump actually, instead of going after them, has been going after the PBMs and big pharma. So, excuse me. So it's actually a good thing for them. There we go. $1 million, 900% gain. Okay. I wonder if this was like position ASTC. Okay. I thought it was the UnitedHealth Group. Oh, maybe they are, because this is in there. Maybe they actually had put some in there recently. That's smart, man. If they made that from kind of YOLO and stuff, and then you just put it in long-term in shares, getting that dividend. Yeah. There's a lot of YOLOs, man. It's gonna make a lot of these retail rich. That's crazy. Okay, not bad, not bad. You know, 172 shares, right? You're right. There are some funny players over here. 9 contracts, very nice. Will do well. It's 9 days ago. Yeah, that was when it's 250. Woo, gonna be good. Someone said, I remember this. If you sell now, get 6K. Remind me in 1 year. Good enough to screenshot, good enough to sell. See, that's normally how I actually act. Because like if I'm like, man, so like the Delic position, that was when I actually trimmed. I have trimmed the 300% is what those options were up. And got in that at 50, when the stock was $15 and it ran to 27. Really with not much news. I mean, the thing is for that was an energy stock. So they had the diesel spreads were going up. So I was seeing that with oil doesn't have to go up. It's literally diesel spreads and some, some good moves in the stock for sure, but it's pulled back a little bit. But every time I was like, man, I'm at 300% now on this. It's like, yeah, you want to screenshot it. So I did, thankfully, before the pullback. But I mean, like I said, when it hit 300%, you got to probably take a little bit of profits. And that, I might even do that on some of these options tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow. I want to see where these things goes, but I got enough that I can trim an option or two. But long term, it's like, hey, looking back at Meta, I'm like, bro, like this thing's going to hit $800. I would have not trimmed anything. I would have held in some of the options, even at that point, there were options out to this year into the early 2025. So, I mean, look at what Meta did. This could do a Meta-like run. It really could. I think people are really sitting on the fact that this company has way less shares, makes more revenue, made more free cash flow right now than Meta was making last then. And the fact that Meta really turned things around quick because they could cut costs. Mark Zuckerberg has super shares. So he can pretty much do whatever he wants. Okay. The same thing with the UnitedHealth Group with their pricing. They already replied for the 26% as we showed you guys. If you're just joining now, I think I got over here. 26% increase on the premiums. So when this happens, you're seeing that they can actually get their free cash flow back up pretty quickly. And you can see this other mark here, the 2%, 7% for some of the other companies. This was in 2025, what they did, the final. So like they really lowballed it. They shouldn't have done it. Should have been a lot higher. Yeah, congrats to everyone who had the melons. Honestly, I think people in my family might have even been buying, when it was at 240s, because I was pretty vocal on, not just on social media, but just across the board. Just telling people like, man, it's a good deal. But yeah, check all insurance companies because that is money-making machine. Yes. Insurance companies, that's why Buffett, he bought historically was a Geico, right? And the great thing about an insurance company is You get money up front, a crap ton of money. And what do? They give it in dividends back to shareholders. They here with UnitedHealth Group, they do. And lots of free cash flow. If they can get that MCR down to 80%, there's a lot of money they can make, especially because more and more people live longer. You're going to have projections of like $520 billion. Honestly, it's possible that this company, I was looking and kind of comparing it to like long term and just kind of running the numbers. People do live a lot longer and the government, they get prices down. This thing, they could potentially be maybe even number 2 in the world in revenue in the next maybe even less than 10 years. So, and let me see if I can actually pull that up. If you look at, I probably actually have this in some of my other ones, but you can see this was what I used with my meta thesis. You guys saw that back in the day. And I recently, I think, used it on my my UnitedHealth post. But I just like to kind of compare it to global ranking. So they're ranked number 6, right? But if you go in here, if we were looking at market cap ranking, global. So market cap, they're way down, UnitedHealth Group, even still. But revenue, they're going to be in the top. Okay, top 5. Okay, take out these companies, they're top 3 in the US for revenue. All right. This is why free cash flow machine, because you fix the cost a little bit, your free cash flow is going to go up like crazy. Yes, it's not $670 billion right now, but they're projected to be 500 plus billion, which is going to be a lot more growth than Walmart and Amazon very soon. This is worldwide, guys. This is worldwide. These companies too could be a little bit lower. If oil stays low, I think this might actually be probably a little bit lower next year. So they actually might jump up here. So whenever your company, like they can raise prices 26%, we're going to probably see this thing go to 520 billion very quickly, and potentially be number 3 in the world. So in the next year or two, when they can cut those costs and when they can also continue to add revenue by other means, not just the from the government and from the Medicare and Medicaid side, they've got other silos that they could do. And yes, some things might be taking a hit with the PBM stuff, but the pharmaceutical costs lowering is just going to be one of those golden swans. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be phenomenal. But yeah, you can't usually buy a stock that has this much revenue for what we've been able to get at that without an anomaly. And the market anomaly was multiple things. Like if you're just joining me, it was the crash of the market, right? 21% down very quickly, right at the time this was able to crash. Now the market was down a bunch for the first week, and this was still holding strong. So people were actually buying into this. But then a lot of new dividend investors, I think a lot of retail too. People on YouTube were talking about it even before this. Dividend, million subscriber dividend channels and stuff were saying, oh, this is safe. And then, of course, it had dropped. So it created this crazy opportunity. And yeah, the market cap is just ridiculous for UNH. And even where we're at right now, I think it's just, and this is what you do. You find companies that they're very cheap and you buy the heck out of them. So, but yeah, the failure to deliver, see, this was crazy. This was back in May, and the data's still not out yet for this last drop. But usually don't see this type of thing in stocks like this. So it's kind of telling me that the float is very tight because the shares outstanding, look at this, 2008. This, by the way, I haven't even talked about this too much. Part of my thesis, the new old CEO's coming back. The CEO that did this is the shares outstanding. They bought back all those shares. Look at that. Buffett was buying back here when that's first time Buffett bought it. There's way less shares. Buffett can own majority of this company long term if he pushes this back up. And maybe Buffett won't care. There's the thing. I think Buffett would buy this at 300. I think he'd buy it at 400. And I think he'd continue to buy it at 500 because he wants the dividend more than likely from this. And his average, because if he's buying a bunch right now, he might be pushing this up right now. If he is, he can have his average pretty low long term. And compared to these other guys, pretty ridiculous, right? Compared to some of the other guys that had bought this, even far higher averages. Look at some of these averages. These are the the largest values right here. Watch. Look at the averages. 3. State Streets. I mean, some of these have been owning it since like the 2000s. 499. Man. 334. And even higher if you're, I mean, some of the funds out there. But yeah, I think this will be far more. He's still buying, guys. He's still buying. He bought it right here. Look at this. Do you see that on the chart? That's where he started buying it. So it probably was close to maybe even a little bit lower. I don't think his average is 417. I think it's probably a little bit lower, and he's probably bought a lot more since that we won't see till November. Hey, I appreciate the follows, guys. Appreciate it. UnitedHealth Group, 350 cents. Yeah. You saw that? You just getting in here, EKS? Yeah, 10.69%. What's it overnight trading? Is that what it's trading overnight right now? I know after hours, that's what it was trading at. But yeah, this is not the last we've seen in Warren Buffett. It's not the last probably we've seen in Michael Burry buying this long term. And remember, look at this. You're going to have all of these ETFs buying into this. This COG is going to push it up. Lots and lots of money buying in. Lots more. I think we're going to see a lot more. And just look at how many shares have already been bought. So 81 million. And then now you're looking at ridiculous amounts, right? 143.9 million shares. Remember what I showed you earlier? 100 plus million is what the free float's left. This is what really pushes these things back up long term. Like, yeah, it's once in a lifetime opportunity. You probably won't see another company like this, because I think a lot of companies now with the new government coming in, they're fixing things. AI is helping to fix a lot of the issues. Companies like this were scammed out of 15 billion from like 300 people. Scammed 15 billion out of the government and out of through healthcare and scams, because literally a lot of things. Maybe they were using AI too, but now you're starting to see these companies fight back. Palantir, a lot of companies are helping them fight these data hits like they had last year. That was another black swan. Like, it's not a good thing that people's stuff got leaked, but it did create an opportunity. And even then, the stock had pulled back a little, and then it's back up. So really, the DOJ is all we got. The headwinds, really, the DOJ, and some tailwinds to push us past that. Hopefully, is the market's going to look at this and say, you know what? Am I gonna buy some of these other Magnificent Seven big tech, or do I want to buy? Because I mean, if we look at the big tech right now, most of these are crazy up this year. So year to date, look at this. We're talking 33%, 34% for NVIDIA year to date. Microsoft 23, Meta 32. So we got some healthcare, even Tesla 14% down. And yeah, where's money going to flow when that 7.5 trillion in money market funds are on the sideline? They're going to look for healthy companies that are cheaply valued, and they probably pay a dividend, because especially the dividend, this is going to be on par with probably what this amount of money that was sitting in the money market funds making 4 or 5%. They got to find safety, and it's not going to go bankrupt. So they're going to look for funds like this. And with an already tight float, I think we get a situation long term that if you get a lot of people buying, what does it do? It pushes the stock up. It's going to push up pretty quickly too. So yeah, long term, and if we get pullbacks, it's going to be noise. I might add. Maybe I'll start my share position, because I've got plenty of options already, and maybe I'll exercise some of them because they're already in the money. I have some leaps out to, like, not that I exercise yet, but I have leaps out because they'll probably be worth just as much, just selling a couple of them. But yeah. Oh, is there ads on there? Getting ads? I might have to adjust. I did the default thing, guys. I haven't done a live in a while, so I'll have to maybe try to adjust it. YouTube, Google. Look, man, they're only up 6% this year. YouTube's got to take their ad cut, right? I got YouTube Premium, so I don't do the ads. It's worth it. Well worth it, guys. Yeah, the ads suck. Sorry, buddy. Swordman's back. I got my sword. Do you think I should bring it out? You think I should bring it? Should it go in the seat behind me? Does this mean because stock's up, should it go in here? Maybe it should. I think, okay, I'll bring this sword out and it'll be on my chair again, right here. It'll be sitting on this. I've got the strap here. It'll be on there if once UnitedHealth Group breaks 400. I think we'll bring this out. Yeah. And also, we've used this in the past. Citrus Energy, I think I think back then, before I had my sword, I think it was like under $10, right? And I was like, if uranium gets to 200, the sword comes back. But yeah, this is a pretty good deal too. Slay the haters. Just look at the chart. Yeah. Let's see. It's already at 300. The thing is, there's not, the float in this is just, if we get a lot of volume coming in tomorrow, it might be record volume. We've seen the weekly volume's been, because the volume is everything, guys. That's going to be the telltale sign. That was one of the bullish things I'd seen with this stock. Look at the volume. Yeah, we're going to break weekly volume tomorrow. It'll be up here. It'll probably be, because this is the biggest buying volume we've had at this this size market cap ever. So like, look at this. So it's probably still red on the monthly, but tomorrow it'll probably turn green, right? But look at this. Look at the buying. Pretty bullish. Yeah, we're not even in the half month through August, and we'll probably break this by tomorrow. We'll probably break this, which was 253 million. Yeah, we haven't seen this. And back here, remember, guys, when COVID happened, they're making 160 or 170 billion dollars more in revenue, and I think free cash flow was they're making like 15 billion more, or 10 to 15 billion more in free cash flow. This drop got ate up and moved up fast. So yeah, being back here, just relative to the market cap, it's never really been this much, this low price. So yeah, this volume a lot. Buffett was buying this up, obviously. So was smart money. So they probably still will, because like what we've seen in the past from a lot of those funds is when they're establishing positions, they have to legally file eventually, right? The very last day Buffett filed, because he knows this is the big thing. Most Buffett stocks run up, right? So, yeah, we saw any 10% aftermarket today was Buffett owned, right? So, yeah, when Buffett buys, stocks run. Look at this. Not bad, right? Still. Yeah, not bad. So, yeah, and then Nucor as well, he bought, right? So it was up after hours too, I think. He'll probably go back to 200. But yeah, when it's a lot easier to just hold this stuff long term when you have super funds buying, because they don't care about 50 or 100% gain too much if they're buying this for the dividend long term. They want as many shares as fast as they can, because it's a big dividend, when you can lock in so much. And then long term is just, Buffett he doesn't buy shares, he buys companies. Like, he wants to buy this company, obviously. Yeah, and you don't get an opportunity. Like I said, Warren Buffett would never get an opportunity. He'll be long gone probably before he gets another opportunity like this for a company, because Warren Buffett sees this, what I just showed you, that market cap, the revenue, he sees third in the world, and he's like, I can own, potentially 10%. If he gets a 25 billion position and it's $250 billion market cap, he owns, a big portion of one of the biggest revenue generators in the world, and pays a dividend. Even better. So yeah, this had Warren Buffett. Like I said, it had Warren Buffett all over it. But I didn't want to get my subscribers. I didn't want to get people too excited, because I knew this market can disappoint. We thought Buffett maybe would, but yeah, there was a lot of haters. But we did it, guys. We ended up pulling it off. But it's not over yet. This is just getting started. There's going to be a lot more more haters too tomorrow. Even in the stock. So yeah, we'll keep covering it. Yeah, it's a nice sword. Yeah, it's the Witcher sword. It's one of the swords from The Witcher. Appreciate the follow, guys. Let's go. It's been fun. Dang, I've been 2 hours and 40 minutes. We've had a pretty good stream. Yeah, guys, we're always learning as retail traders. We've got a lot of tools now. We're always learning. It's going to be. Let me repost this. We're always learning. We're always. Oh, by the way, they if you post stuff on YouTube on X of YouTube, it shadow bans that post. Like people can't even see it. It's a lot of stuff. Let's kind of see what's going on here. There's a lot of spam too. Like look at this, spam. Anything good? I guess we go to the top. Probably a lot of people. Look at that. Yeah, buddy. Man, is that AI? That's great. Look at this. Is this UnitedHealth Group investors? We're still down here. You know what's funny though? This guy, he's peaked out in the market. We bought down here. Tomorrow we might be up more than these guys percentage for the year in our gains because we waited. We're still down here, but we won. We won that gold medal, bro. Right? Mommy, how do we get rich? Your daddy full porter want to drop 50%. Yeah, buddy. Dividend dude, you still watching? Nice stuff. Copper bags. Oh, you follow me too. Nice. I think my return at the end of the day today was double this, and tomorrow it's definitely 6 figures. So how much are you guys up tomorrow? I want to know if it's 10%. Actually, we won't know with options because options, the IV, like if the IV goes up 10% tomorrow, which could very well be, these stocks like the options can move up like crazy in value, especially some of these like nearer term options. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, look at this. Wait, Saudi princes? Was there some Saudi princes in there too? I didn't even look at that. There's so many. I haven't looked. I went through most of the 13Fs, but it was really a lot of the data that I was collecting, like who sold. It wasn't necessarily the names. I was just looking at pretty much crunching everything out, like 4,000 of them almost. Nice. Better be quick. Got the, look at that. I saw some of those technicals. That's the gap fill, I bet you, that we were showing earlier. Yeah, nonstop. Buffett, Dodge and Cox, David Tepper, Renaissance, yeah, Michael Burry, Saudi Prince, Public Investment Fund, PIF. Okay, that's what that one was. Very nice. Lots of puts and calls. We were talking about these puts, guys. But they were exercising them. That's the thing. That super fund that was buying 8% of the company could have been Buffett. With the puts, he was buying puts. The 470 puts that expired tomorrow. They bought up, I think it's now, we'll look at it in a second. This is kind of fun going through these, but I think it's over 8 to 10% of the entire company was bought up via puts and exercised. So it wasn't on the books. So there's a few ways a super fund like Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway could do that. You got to have like a major, one of the top prime brokers to do it from what I was looking up. And it is a way that they could have the broker find shares, because they would do this when there's not a lot of shares out there. Because remember, failure to deliver, especially when you have other super funds trying to buy in the dark pools and stuff, and it can create. They don't want to do this out in the open, like it's Buffett. Like that's why he filed, last. So I think some of those puts, I have a feeling, could have actually been the exercise puts. Some of these super funds, backdoor way, very unconventional way. It does save them on the spread though. From what I was looking at, when you're buying billions of dollars, trying to buy it in the market or even in the dark pools. If you did it this way and you don't own shares yet, you just, you went short technically, it helps push down the stock price, and you can find them. Your brokers can find them, your prime broker, and you can actually cover. When you cover, you can actually hold those shares longer. So very interesting. I learned something from that. And that's really one of the only ways, that could have been. We don't know who it was though. Yep. What else we got? Any other interesting top posts? Yeah, Guru Gavin, good stuff. Yep. Mystery stock. I love it. I love it because a lot of people were doubting it. A lot of people were doubting that this company was basically that anyone would buy it. And people were like, there's no way Buffett would buy it. And I was like, well, he's bought it before, but I'm not betting. My thesis wasn't on Buffett, right? It wasn't on Buffett, but Buffett came in and saved the day, right? Because we're probably never going to see we probably will never see 240s ever again, honestly, unless there's a market crash. But at that point, like, wouldn't Buffett buy up, and wouldn't all these other funds want to buy up if they're buying long term? If they're buying and they don't expect there to be an issue with the DOJ. So yeah. big getting into UNH, that shows a good sign. Yeah, just any of these big investors getting in. Yeah, of course it does. It does. Chris Patel, I think you follow me too, right? Good job. Buffett buying. Burry straight up degen in with calls. Yeah, same with me. That's what I did. I knew when Burry. Yeah, buddy. When he gets in, when we cross paths, some greatness happens. He's given in a lot of plays that I was in that did pretty well. He was in GameStop in 2019, before even Roaring Kitty was. So yeah, it looks like these were actually in options. That's a lot of money in options. So yeah. Man. Yeah, their price isn't 411. It's probably lower than that. That's just the last, I think, reported. So when they're filing the 13F, with whatever last shares that they bought at, or is it last or first? I think that's how it works. Whenever the last ones, but they could have continued to buy after that. So their average doesn't necessarily mean they're at 411, but they did buy it at 411 for sure. Cool, Warren to the rescue. Yeah, this is good stuff. I would like to at least hear him talk about it. I know he's officially kind of like retired. We too late to get in, fellas? I don't necessarily think it's too late. This is a long-term play. Do you think is Buffett still buying? Yeah, of course. If he's establishing a long-term position at this size, which he could do, he's been buying. He probably has a bigger position already now. But I don't think it's too late. Is it after hours? I mean, sorry, overnight trading. I don't care about overnight too much, but curious. You say it's 310? Short bear. Oh yeah, you posted some stuff on GameStop before, I think. Yeah, same thing. Superfunds. Overnight. Oh, that was an hour ago. Yeah, of course. It's gonna probably break 300 tomorrow, I'd say. I wonder who this was, by the way. I wonder who was this. Was this one of you guys just kidding around? But it wasn't in warrants, by the way. But whoever did that, it's pretty funny. Anything else? I don't know what this is. Out of the money calls, right? Yep. Bought lots. 307? Oh, hell yeah. 307 right now what is that? 310 or 307? Yeah, Michael Burry. Yeah, he's holding it. But it looks like options. It's not a big amount yet, but he might exercise them. I don't know what they are, but they're probably pretty low. Probably knowing Michael Burry. He goes pretty heavy in options. All those puts, man, he actually did do pretty well. Anything else cool? Man, this was quite the day. Yeah, and it's nice to be with you guys. Retail. A lot of new people to the channel and stuff. And I'm gonna continue to cover it. We'll be doing this for a while. And guys, we found the bottom. This is my face when I left the gym. When I grabbed my phone. Because I told my wife, if you're just coming in, I literally told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna go check. I have a feeling 13F's come out, and I was like, I think Burry and is gonna buy, and I think Warren Buffett could have bought, and I was right. And I've joked about it in the tweets here. If you go look at my tweets, I've said it. I was like, it's position Burry is definitely in his wheelhouse, and if I'm looking at it, I think he's looking at it, and then Buffett, it's definitely a value. So. Yeah, you buy the dip, guys. Let's see, how many people? Are you buying it? 0 votes? There's no votes. Someone said, let's see, Peter Pref. You have 500 followers, probably about. This is actually absurd because most of these guys hate each other. But, you do have a check mark. Maybe you're not a bot. But all agree on one thing. UNH is undervalued. Yep. That is true. Yeah, there's too many there's a lot of bots on here, guys. That's another reason, I guess, This has been pretty great. Like going live, the chat's been pretty good. There's not been too many issues. What else we got? Any other stuff? Any other 13Fs coming in long term? Let me see. Can maybe look. And by the way, guys, Buffett and Burry are the #1 tracked funds. So there was a few Capital Research Global Investors. They were one of the biggest sellers, trimmers. They had pretty big averages though. There were like you're gonna see a few like look 101 average, or was that average? Oh, that's estimated price. Yeah. So you've seen some selling. That's obviously it's gonna happen, especially right now. Like it could be like there maybe if I have a fund and some of my big investors are very political and they don't like the sector, they might be like wanting me to sell, you know, so like maybe I would. At that point though, when I start my fund, I think if I get investors, I'm gonna let them know there's no politics. We don't trade via post politics, because if we did, then we wouldn't have bought Meta at 88. We wouldn't have been able to buy Centrus Energy at 3 because it's nuclear and people think it's bad, you know, and they make high enriched uranium. So they're literally a descendant of the Manhattan Project. So yeah, the #1 funds, if you see, I think if we go here, that people will look at is going to be Buffett and Burry. So yeah, it's kind of funny. So yeah, if you look on here, so the percentage ownership, it's about 87% still. This was from Q1. This hasn't updated, but they had updated on the NASDAQ. It's funny, it is red, but it was 10%. But it is still, let's see if they crunch anymore. It should be 80. Oh, it went up. Oh, 87.21. Okay, that's even better. So this has dropped a little bit. So finals, all the 13Fs coming in. We are now back at 87.21. So that's real good. Really good. And now, do note that this does include, if there are short positions, it will include it. NASDAQ will count them as institutional holders if they're shorts, if they have puts and calls as well. So it's still synthetic portion of the float that's held by institutions. But I mean, you know, you got 13% or less of the float left, and we had already showed you how many shares that would equate to, even diluted outstanding. So this is great. Went up. Exactly what I want to see when these guys are buying. So yeah, is there anything else? Any other questions, guys, or comments? If not, yeah, put it in the Discord and we'll catch up on it. I've definitely probably skipped over a bunch getting back into the live stream thing. They just kind of passed by. But yeah, let's see. Anyone comment on here? Yeah, more. Best of the best. Here accounts that I saw as being bullish on UNH throughout the dips and panic. Good stuff. Yep. I mean, it's not like we're just like the guy. We're still at the very bottom right now. Like the stock's still down a bunch. Even if it's up 10, even 20% tomorrow, this is a long journey, guys. And yeah, we can maybe take a little bit of a, you know, puff on a cigar or something, right? But the stock's still down a bunch. So we've got a long ways to go. A lot of work for management to do. As a value investor, that's what we're looking for. Companies that can really turn things around. Oh yeah, the other thing is I think we're going to have a golden cross tomorrow. So trades above the 50-day moving average. First time since April 7th. That is right. Heisenberg. Where is it? I think I have this. So let's look. So on here, I'll just pull up indicator. I'm going to pull up moving average. Let's see if we can get, which is kind of annoying that this will pull up. I want like the, I want the full moving average. So I want to see if the 50-day, let's see if we get it, can actually move over the 200 soon. It's going to take a little bit, right? But looks like we're probably going to pass it. So like on the 6 month. Thing is, trading view is kind of, if you do, you have to do the 1 year. Obviously the 1 year is going to be way higher, but like if you're looking at like the last 6 months, it goes to the 2 year mark, which I want them to fix that. I wish they would fix it where it'll go, you can't change it to a day on the 6 month, you can't change it to daily. But yeah, this is what we were after hours. So on the short term, we're going to pull a golden cross, guys. Technically, this is phenomenal. This will be good. And that 50-day moving average goes over the 200. Woo, it's going to be great. A lot of technical traders going to be in it. But I think everyone's just basically saying like, okay, smart money, Buffett's buying when other stocks are trading at all-time highs, up 2,000%. I mean, yeah, they can maybe move up 2,000%, but what are the odds? If the market pulls back, money's probably going to go into here. And even if it trades sideways a little bit, I think it's probably not going to trade sideways. It's probably going to continue to build a little bit. But yeah, I'll be looking for that. And then the other thing is gaps that we're going to be seeing. Probably pretty big on the gaps over the next, because we already showed a little bit of that chart earlier, but kind of want to look at it. Yeah, we're right on this new gap fill coming in. Because long term, this, I mean, we drop so fast. It's pretty crazy. Love it. But the volume too, the other thing I guess we'll see, kind of close this off, because you got to do this on a daily. It's right here. Kind of far away here. Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering what type of volume we're going to be getting in the morning, because a lot of this gap has to be is going to start to fill up. Yeah, it's probably going to be it's going to be pretty interesting to see because of this massive gap down, getting into the 300s, and it's a Friday too, guys. So yeah, could get crazy. Yeah, good 5 years. I mean, that's the way to look at it. I think a stock like this, good 5 years. I mean, honestly, I think in the next 2.5 years, it could be over 1,000 if all the golden swans hit. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, but yeah, don't bet against America. That's the thing. This is America. This is number one revenue, other than if you're considering retail, Amazon and in America. Amazon and Walmart, of course, massive companies, but they're going to grow, like their revenue is going to be a lot. I think more free cash flow coming in per share basis, you know, for what's left, especially if you're getting in bigger piece of the pie, it's going to be a lot better. So yeah, I'm really going to be watching this tomorrow because we're right. There's a lot of volume right at this 300 in there. So that's where this volume shelf, that's why I think it was kind of in the aftermarket, it was kind of, slowing down a little bit, but it pushed through. Let's see tomorrow though, guys. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Any other cool stuff we can see while we're live? We're about to hit the 3 hour mark. Okay, so someone said UnitedHealth Group is gonna get rug pulled because every single person on X somehow is trading it. Good luck with that. Dude. So we're a tiny portion of the entire market, the world, right? Just because the reason you're seeing it is because you posted the ticker, UNH, and you're probably seeing it because you probably follow finance people, and a lot of these people probably aren't even trading it. They just know that it's trending like this, been trending, right? Number one over here, number one, and number one over here. So a lot of people are talking about it. They might not even have a position. They're just trying to get clicks. Look, all the spam stuff. Look at this. 9, and it's literally like a spam account. Not even the person. So, yeah. If you keep looking, I mean, there are people talking about it, but a lot of stuff you're seeing is just spam, right? And this guy, I think this guy ended up buying. I think he was like saying he was down, oh man, like hundreds of thousands, because he had bought on the first dip, and then it was pretty rough, right? Oh, Nathan, you want to update on Centrus? Yeah, let me give a quick update. So Centrus Energy, I'm still pretty bullish on the company long term, but if you look at Centrus, it's still a company that needs to dilute, right? So, which I think that's what's really kind of like what's pulled it down. I wanted to turn this off. I don't need these on. Oh, it was a new version. Turn that off. Let's keep that on. But this thing hit 260 recently, right? And I've always said if this thing hits new highs, I always expect it to pull back 50%. And I expect like management to dilute because look, yeah, 700 million convertible notes as well. They had a bond sell. So yeah, they're going to need money, right? This stuff costs a lot of money. They got a lot from the DOE. But I expect it to pull back probably a little bit more. When the share, like I said, when this company, when you have a company like this that has only 15 million shares outstanding, they're going to dilute during this time. They're going to, borrow and I think there's a shelf offering too. So there's been obviously. So yeah, this is a long-term thing though. The long-term, I mean, it's still a very small market cap. Look at this. What is it? Is it 3 billion right now? It hit 5 billion up here, but very small. Funds still are barely getting into this, right? So long term, but you have a lot of funds coming into the other nuclear energy stocks out there. The entire sector, though, look at this is what nuclear energy did today because the market pulled back. Now, Wolf, you have some obviously tied to like crypto and stuff. Rolls-Royce, way bigger than just that. These are up 2,000% since we've been covering them. But Centrus, even better, but it's going to pull back. It's got to raise money, guys. It's going to dilute. But yeah, all of the nuclear energy stocks took a hit today. The entire market took a hit though. So I mean, I wouldn't be too scared long term, but like this is what they're at year to date. But yeah, if we're looking at the market, everything pretty much, even UnitedHealth Group, everyone kind of anticipated at the end of the day, market makers kind of like it balanced out almost even. They knew they wouldn't, drop it too far. But yeah, with seasonality around the corner combined with lower projected earnings, this might give us more opportunity. Yeah, maybe some opportunity. I mean, I don't know if you're just talking specifically about overall market, but for value. But if we're talking about UnitedHealth Group, I don't think we're going to get too much long term on these. So yeah, I was looking at the 470s. So these are the ones that expire tomorrow. And these are the ones that over 400,000, I think it's actually more than that, 400,000 have been like volume wise. But other than that, the option chain, they've stuck around 1,000 or so of open interest. So they didn't, whoever's buying them and exercise them didn't want to hold them for more than a day. But it's been like, it's over like close to $10 billion in stock that the company has sold short, or the company, whoever bought them, sold short. But then if it is a super fund, they can technically take those short shares and own them. Hey, I appreciate the 5, Nathan. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate the super chat. Yeah, so Centrus Energy, you were specifically asking about Centrus. So I think, like I said, I think Centrus is still a good long-term play. I'm bullish for the company. I think it's being a Manhattan, project descendant. They have a monopoly too. If you want to look at it, they have the monopoly in HALU and really SMRs. We've covered them for years. Kind of beat the drum forever. Same thing with uranium. I think long-term uranium is going to be needed. We have this new nuclear energy renaissance, and right now we're still just in that early innings of this thing. Like when these nuclear plants come up, like initially they need these load batches. They need a small amount, and then they'll start to order more. And same thing with Russia. There's some Russian things going on. If the war ends, that could even be better for it. But entry price, I could see this thing getting down, like I said, 120s for Centrus for sure. Maybe even lower if the market pulls back. People are going to take some gains potentially. But I mean, a 50% pullback. We've seen this multiple times with Centrus. 50% pullbacks, lots of times. Big thing to watch on this though is to watch if you're trading this. This is how we've traded it always. Really keep your eye on like Russia and because they do get a lot of their LEU, their enriched uranium overseas, and they do have waivers. But if anything in Washington changes, if Russia really starts to get hit even harder by the U.S. with more tariffs, because there's supposedly going to be a 500% like tariff for across the board any country working with Russia. So if you see like stuff like that happen, this stock could have a flash crash again. We bought that on the flash 25-30% drop, I think, in 2023 June. It dropped. So yeah, that's another way to run these, is make sure. And in the Discord, if you go to LEU, we have LEU. I have bots and data pulling from all over the internet, all over from Russia and everything as well. So like we get information instantly if Russia, they're posting about potential like counter like embargo or anything with LEU or anything nuclear, because they're really the leaders, and they really control 50% plus of the world's enriched uranium coming out of Kazakhstan too. So we have that for all the stocks, like UnitedHealth Group, a lot of anything pretty much coming out I have, which is in UnitedHealth Group, which will be in the Discord. So like this, you can kind of see like in here, you click on it and it's everything UnitedHealth Group's coming up today, like literally right now. So all this stuff coming up, and it's instant. And if we post anything too, and you can go up here and search it all too. So that's the way I like to run our our little community over there. So you guys get access to years of data. The Centrist stuff I've been posting in there, like charts and data since like the 2020. So like been a long time. Yeah, DNN Denison gonna stay flat, or do I think they can make it one day? Rick Roll likes the CEO. Denison, I think, is kind of like, it's kind of had its churn. You know, this thing was a part of the uranium cartel, like back in the 70s. I got a book on it. Where is it? I think it's back here. The uranium cartel or whatever, back in the 70s and stuff. It's a crazy. Let me see. I have a lot of books. I think it's back there somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, they're in here. So the Great Uranium Cartel. So they're actually in, they're involved in that. So back in the day, like big oil was in uranium and stuff, and like the government up there, they were trying to stop them because big oil wanted to like buy them out and everything. Like, I just think a lot of that is kind of past Denison. Now they've got some other things that they do that might be good, but you know why why I don't like their stock? Share structure. Look at this. They've had a lot of volume in the past, and it's still kind of like held it back. I don't know why this keeps going back to the daily. I mean the 2 hour. So they've had a lot of volume, right? It still has been held back, and it's because the diluted shares outstanding, they got 892 million shares, you know, for a $2 stock. I don't like that. The company, the share structure is just, it's not for me. Like, that's one of the big things, like in these. Now it is, they don't have as many, a lot of it's in the free float too. Like, that's not the bad thing. It's just, I just don't like that about the company. You know, almost 900 million shares. I don't like when companies have that many, especially when you're still starting out. I can't stand that with uranium companies. My companies that I've done the best in, that's why Centrus Energies ran up from $1 to 250, is because of their share structure being very low. They haven't diluted too much yet. I love it. So yeah, it's going to be one of those long-term things for me though. Like looking at them, Denison, it's been kind of like dead money sitting too long. Like, yeah, it's hit $2, but nah, not too much for me. I think there's plenty. Maybe UEC is a little bit better. UEC, like if you're talking uranium, oops, they're up. They're doing really well. I mean, this was just in April, guys. April, it's already up. It's recently went up 178. Pull back a little bit. Looks like you need to read up. Yeah, this book, it's pretty interesting what Big Oil was doing. I think because they did that, they bought up uranium back in the day. Big Oil did, and they had the cartels because back then there was hundreds of nuclear reactors being made, and they're starting that again. So maybe Big Oil, that was kind of part of my thesis, that they might get back into uranium again too and buy up companies like this. So maybe nowadays you could see a company like Denison get bought out, and you know, all the charts are basically the same right now in a lot of uranium stocks. UR Energy is pulled back a little bit more, but UEC, Cameco. I mean, look, they're all the same. So, I mean, Cameco's been such a great winner. I mean, just recently, right? This market drop. So we get a market drop. I'm looking to buy into uranium again. Like, let's look at what we get. And this is also when uranium hit over $100. So yeah, good opportunity on a big pullback. Uranium will have 50% pullbacks constantly. So always a good time to trade it. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, any dips definitely buying up for sure. Yeah, appreciate the follow. Yeah, Constellation. They're part of all my nuclear stocks here, nuclear energy related. I mean, look at the stuttering now. The crazy thing about these stocks is when you get a market pullback, because these companies are not making money, you know, they're very negative, they're going to get pulled back crazy, right? So from here, just when the Dow dropped 53%, like, you know, and probably going to happen again. So these are great stocks to trade, in my opinion, if you can get in these bottoms and then ride it back up and trade it. But you probably won't see we won't see these prices again. We won't see COVID prices again for a lot of these, unless the market crashes like crazy, I don't think. But just in general, any nuclear energy stock has a ton of funds trying to get in right now. That's why we've seen a lot of these. I've talked to a fund manager on Twitter, I think. But yeah, they're a lot of them are just buying into this. And Centrus, they've ran it up. Look at what they did to it. Rolls-Royce, kind of hybrid. They're all the same. Look at this. Nuclear energy. That's kind of why, like, I was talking about it for 5, 6 years almost now. All these, and they've all ran up like crazy. This is another one. ETF. SMR is another one. This stock's pulled back a bunch. Just if you bought 5,000 in options in this, it turned almost into $500,000 just from this last pullback here. So just a 5,000 position here, March, April, because it ran up 1,200%. So just a very tiny position went up ridiculous amounts, right? So yeah, these can move quick, but I mean, look at the pullback. So if we get another market pullback and it drops even below this and something like this, I might look into like options again in something like this, because I think funds are still going to be piling into these. Silex, it's still a kind of like a little baby LEU. Nothing's proven yet, so a lot of people are probably taking profits. Still nuclear related. Oklo as well. Yeah, big, obviously big boys funding this as well. So yeah, it's definitely these are great, I think, traders. I wouldn't hold them too long though. They're pretty rough on the pullbacks, 50%. But yeah, I think it's one of those ones that we'll continue to see as the market maybe risk off. You'll start to see people take profits. But yeah, some of these other beatdown plays in pharmaceuticals and health is where I think establishing myself some long-term positions has been pretty good. That's why. Even CVS is doing pretty well since this last drop. So yeah, what is on the 1 year? Yeah, it's looking pretty good, because it dropped back in December. It's already up a good amount, even for a big company like this. Yeah, still doing pretty good. And in the PBM stuff, I honestly think overall cost cutting is going to help them a lot for the whole for all the companies within the sector. Like, a lot of these companies have been getting screwed. You know, big pharma, the costs are too much. You're going to have more people on health insurance too when this happens. So that's the good thing. Yeah, I appreciate the follow again. Oh, you guys said you bought on Monday. Nice. Were we saying, Nathan, none of them? I don't know if chat's like as active, but yeah, good trades for sure on the pullbacks. Yeah, fintechs is probably going to get hit. Yeah, this is another one. Like I said, Lewis at here, I think when he started selling, taking profits, because he held it was like hundreds of thousands of shares in this at like 300,000. I think he had left before he started selling some, and then 300,000 worth from like $2. But yeah, he had, geez, I think his whole Nike $20 million position basically could have been funded by that. I think it was near that. I think it was like 16, 17 million. That and maybe another position he sold. So I think he did buy UnitedHealth Group. I gotta actually check. I think he actually might have messaged me. Yeah, we'll update on that though later. But yeah, guys, this has been fun. This has been fun chatting with you guys. This has been a 3 hour and 15 minute, long live stream. Probably, yeah, we'll probably put it on. Probably cut it down. This has been long. There's been a lot of kind of off-topic stuff. It's been Buffett Day, Big Daddy Buffett buy. Yeah, if you guys want to come into the Discord and we'll talk more about stuff like this, especially if it's kind of like has to do with other things non-related, because a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about probably on video is going to be UnitedHealth Group, because this is going to be one of the big ones that a lot of people, it's not like us buying it's going to change it, but long term I think it's going to be a really good healthy deal. Oh, let's see Adam. If you're in an investing game for 30 years, you know that opportunities like United Healthcare don't come very often. High quality businesses that are significantly undervalued, these are rare no-brainer buys, like Meta at 80 and Google at 100. This is when all of those with half a brain will buy like crazy. Buffett buys 5 million shares. Dodge & Cox, David Tepper, Renaissance, Michael Burry, Saudi Arabia Public Investment Company buys calls, 100%. Let's say it. Cheers, Adam. $243. Meta at 88. They laughed at us. Yeah, you guys get to see it live. This is great. So Adam, me and him crossed streams, Ghostbuster reference when Meta was 88. And I had seen his videos. Did my thesis, and I think I'd seen his videos that November. And went back and we saw him recently because he posted another video, and I was like, oh my gosh, Adam and me. Now he's saying the exact same thing. People were making fun of me saying this reminds me of Meta. Now Adam said the same thing. He thought it was just like Meta as well. And people were still making fun of us for that. They're like, Meta, and now it's done the Meta move. It's done 28% in the last 2 weeks. That's what Meta was doing. So, yeah. Chipotle, I like Chipotle. I think they shouldn't have done the split. I think CMG, right? Yeah. Guys, I've traded this like crazy in the past. I worked for Chipotle back in the day. When I was active duty in the military, I loved Chipotle so much that I worked for them. And I used to eat Chipotle every single day, like ridiculous amounts. They used to do these cards you could go in, buy, and scan. I would get a burrito like every few days. Free burrito. They should bring that back, by the way. I really like the stock. I think that this really hurt them, and I think it could probably pull back into the 20s. I think that one of the big things I think that they need to do, because I work there, they should weigh the meals. They should have literally where they serve you, they should have a scale, and it should all be on there, and they should know every time you pull it out that it's a certain amount of weight, not by like a scoop or anything. So everyone gets the same amount. Same thing with the meat. And I mean, that was one of the issues that like people saw, obviously. But I think social media people were talking about. But I think long term, I think this is going to be a good buy. Like, I like the stock. I like the food a lot, even more. They have diluted a bunch, but have bought back shares since we're talking about 2022. They have bought back a good amount of shares. So still somewhat of a big float. Still a good stock, I think, though. And I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be making some videos probably tomorrow. Yeah, Mike, you like YouTube better? Yeah, YouTube's pretty good. Like I said, but going live on the other platforms, or even like, with social media and stuff, it's not as good. There's too many bots. This has been pretty good. Not a lot of bots in the comments or anything. Maybe we'll actually see you guys. Yeah, Nathan, none of those nuclear companies make money except Centrus. Exactly. Rolls-Royce obviously does. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Fox. I definitely love making these. I love helping you guys. Helping retail. And we learn together. Like, You know, I'm studying the SIE Series 65, so I am learning a lot, like stuff that normal retail traders aren't learning. And hopefully pass that on to you guys. And it kind of like bridges the gap, like starting to figure out like, oh yeah, that's why that happens. But yeah, stuff behind the scenes, you know. 3,000 shares and sleeping well tonight. Oh yeah, buddy, you will be. Heck yeah. I've seen some people with 10,000 shares, I think, posted on like Reddit, right? Or 1,000 shares, thousands, tens of thousands, right? Yeah, $1.99. Thanks, appreciate it, Leonardo. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be great. Tomorrow's gonna be great for everyone. I think everyone was pretty much going pretty heavy the first off the drop in the 240s. A lot of people were. So even if people kept buying, their average is pretty low. Yep. UNH gang, let's buy more tomorrow. Yeah, I honestly think that it's going to get crazy. Retail is really going to be the ones pushing this up probably tomorrow. And Buffett and all of them are going to be obviously buying long term, right? They should. I mean, if they're buying the first time drop, they've got to be buying now. Again, if they're trying to establish a position. Yeah, paying high prices for fast food. I mean, for Chipotle, yeah, honestly, a lot of the stuff, like I've been through this stock many times where they've had the E. coli breakout and all these things, and it always settles out. The like I said, the problem is the stock is it's a little bit easier when the stock's $1,000+ When you do a split like this, I've seen when they've had splits, right? I've seen stocks be able to drop a lot more. I mean, even Tesla's kind of starting to figure that out. Then on the other hand, in the bull market, people are like, oh my gosh, Tesla's $43. New retail traders, they'll just buy, they'll hit a market order on that because they're like $43 because they might think of like Chipotle that was seeing that it was thousands before. They might even look at the chart. So they do fool a lot of new retail like that. They don't understand splits and how it really works. Yeah, can't be too greedy. Hey, if this goes to 1,000, right? If this goes to 1,000 long term, you guys have to come into the Discord. You have to join the Discord. Because we want good investors too. Because a lot of people, we've got a lot of good people that bring up stuff that you never would have found, you know, and like share the research with everyone. Or if it's like, you know, if big $1 trillion funds and stuff are, you know, are doing their write up on UnitedHealth Group and someone has access to it. Sometimes they'll post it too. It's private, you know, not obviously out in the open, but it always helps. Yeah, Nate, you're gonna buy tomorrow? You're gonna buy it? Yeah, it probably will. I mean, a lot like UnitedHealth Group's probably gonna go up tomorrow, 10, maybe 15%. I mean, we're still down so much, and like I said, I love when a stock drops this fast for sure. Oh yeah, Chipotle has a high PE. They're 38. Yeah, it's still pretty high. Yep. Man, you guys think 320 tomorrow? Oof. I mean, retail is going to be buying in. There could have been people that have putts too, thought that Buffett, the whole thing was going to be like a pump in a sense and no one was going to buy. But I mean, far better. I mean, I wouldn't say better, but far better performing funds because, you know, Berkshire Hathaway's down a little bit. They've actually been doing pretty well buying up UnitedHealth Group at these lows, right? So, and some of these funds have done phenomenal on tech, Nvidia. So yeah. It is so low. Can you wait for the confirmation of sentiment change? Are you talking about UnitedHealth Group? Or are you talking about Chipotle, Michael? Or Nate? You're probably talking about Chipotle. Because, I mean, the sentiment, I think, starting to change here with UnitedHealth Group. Yeah, you could buy this, I mean, in the 300s and still make bank long term. The big thing, too, is like, I bought them options. So, IV was at 36, like I've said, the 36%. That's super low for, you know, this far out. The option riders, the way they price them, the Scholes model, they were basically saying that they didn't expect anything to change long term in 2 years, right? That's way too cheap. I expect this to be back in the 50% range on those. So say the stock goes sideways from where it is now, if the IV goes up like 50%, options go up a ton. So that's why I like options right now. pretty safe. I think still not investment advice. That's just why even at 300 to 400, you you don't get in 240s. If you're getting in now 300 to 320, long term, the options can still pay off like crazy, especially if option riders still don't think that we see, 400 or 500. But yeah, like the 260, I was buying a lot of 260 June calls. Like those are going to be up a ton. 300s are going to be up. It's going to be great. June 2027 is what I was buying. But yeah. You do think, Michael, Anthony, that it will close below 300 tomorrow? See, I don't think so. I don't think it will. I think it's definitely going to open. It's going to pop. Like pre-markets, it would be over 10%, I think. I can almost guarantee that. It'll probably pop 10%. See what the market does. If the market does pull back, you could see, just by the big, cog that it is, 87%, you could see a little bit of sell-off. But I think a lot of that's going to be bought up by retail. A lot of potential. Now, if Buffett is trying to establish a position, like a big position, they're going to love eating up any sell-offs in the market in position like this, because that's the best time for them to buy it. The last time we bought this was the end of the global financial crisis, right? When they had billions and billions more shares. So that's the great thing. This company's given us and Buffett a big piece of the pie when we buy when it's in the 200s versus last time. Yeah, a lot of new traders, they don't understand charts. Exactly. Yeah, the RSI on some of those goods goes crazy. Yeah, if anyone's taking profit right now after Buffett just started buying and establishing that position, I mean, who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe it's going to be a wise move to take profits, but honestly, don't think that. I think that long term, this thing's going to recover fast. It's already, and I haven't even pulled up the chart to Meta at that time, but I think this is 28%. I mean, let's do that while we're still on air. If this is 28% in the last just 2 weeks, right? Let's look at Meta. And it was 2022. If you guys don't know this, you can do this on TradingView. And then 2022, 11 tech. All right, let's do 12 tech. How about 20? Let's go to it. So, oh, what the heck? It didn't go to it. What the heck? All right, let's just go manually. Whatever. We'll just go into manually. So, I think Meta, if we're looking at it, this is the weekly. So 2 weeks, right? So got lucky here too. Found bottom. Bought everything in here. Within 7 days, from the bottom, 28%. Okay. So Meta, 2 days, closed here, 25%. So if we close tomorrow, right? We close tomorrow over 28%, 30%, we are beating Meta. We are beating Meta in the first 2 week run, because this dropped and closed out pretty even. And then even the third week, still 26%. 3 weeks in, now it jumped up after that and went to 40. Got the hammer. But 3 weeks in, we could go to the end of next week. If we stay at this price, 300, we are still at 28%. This is 26 or so percent. So we are actually beating Meta in the 3 week recovery after it bottomed. Now, does it have enough room to keep moving up? Because look at the volume in the weekly. Now, this was half the price. This is 3 times the price for us. The volume, you can see that we're still in the bear market technically here, coming out of it. 200 million, 300. This is right after the big volume. There was not too much volume pushing up. And then we're like this week, flat 86 million. And boom, 167 million. Now this was, the stock was in the hundreds, right? 120s or so here. So yeah. Buffett bought Oxy at 60. That's trading under 60. That trading 42 to 46 in the range now. Yeah, it's a big difference. Like those companies, just because Buffett buys doesn't mean it's necessarily gonna go up forever. But when you're down, was Oxy down 60% when he bought it though? That's the difference. Was Oxy down 60% in a matter of 2 or 3 months? That's where you gotta really look at. No, I don't think it was. So yeah, if we're gonna beat Meta in our gains, in 3-week gains from the bottom, if we close over 300 tomorrow. And next week, if we stay 300, we still beat them because we'll be 28% up from the bottom. That's it, guys. Low prices cure low prices, and then the rest is history. Look at this. You know, over this is the weekly chart. Probably change it to monthly. It'd be a little better. Look at this. Month after month, people sell, people trim. I trim a little bit, and I'm like, okay, you know, I have a lot of options, a lot of shares. Then you go into 2020, into 2023, June, 2024. You pretty much don't have much losing months. Now there were a couple in 2023 pullback. You know, AI started to really push off, and then boom. Then we got another pullback back in April. Look at how fast the market though. S&P 500 pulled back 30 or 21%. Meta at this time drops from that peak down to 36%, 35%. This is what gave UnitedHealth Group the big drop. That's what gave it that first big drop. The market was already scared. You know, Meta dropped 36% in the last couple months. So people thought, oh, we're going to a bear market. You know, bad stuff's happening. And technically we did. But it pulled out of it right away. And so this gave us that real UnitedHealth Group buy that we got. But I really want people to understand that first month right here, we'll go to the weekly. It's a little easier to see. When the market was already dropping in flight to safety, people were still in this. Look, April 7th, it ran up. Look at this. Meta was already dropping way down. That's what I want people to understand is this is a flight to safety. Look at this. When the market was bottoming out, people were jumping into this and it was going into the 600s. Then the DOJ, boom, retail dumped it as fast as they could. Way faster than the drop in Meta. That took 13 months to drop. This dropped so fast. So, and then you see Buffett buying in here, Michael Burry, and all the other super funds loading up. In fact, some of them were buying in the 400. So they actually started buying right here. Some of the filings. So yeah, they're buying right here. Boom, buying. You don't think he's buying right here? Of course he is. If he's establishing a position. So yeah. And we even got lower and bounced back and kind of created that double bottom. And now the rest is history, I think. I think this is going to be a pretty good run up. And it's not really too overbought, to be honest. Look at the RSI. It's not overbought at all. Meta had that pullback. It was still in a time in the market where people were really scared. I don't think anyone is scared of buying this right now. Hey, Fat Chin, Derek, I can't tell you if you should average up. I just know like probably a year or two from now, I probably will be like, you should have bought shares too, other than just, your options. But I'm doing fine tomorrow. I'm doing fine. Like literally when the market opens with options, when you buy that much, the option riders are screwed, right? They are going to have to hedge like crazy. So, I mean, there was lots of options bought. A lot of people I know bought options too. So, I know I did. You're going to discount averaging, yeah. Keep my long hair, Nate. If we get an all-time high, shave my head. Oh, no. You know, it's crazy. Like, I didn't know at the time, but Keith Gill, Roaring Kitty, was growing his hair out very similar to mine. I think mine's longer. I started growing out before he did. Like length. Mine's goes down to my bottom, like right at my belt line. Yeah, I'm definitely not shaving this hair. It looks bad, by the way, guys. I just came from the gym, so haven't got much sleep either. I kind of knew today was gonna be like a crazy day, so that's why I've been live for like 3.5 hours. But yeah, this has been phenomenal type past month, really. You don't find many opportunities like this, guys. So you got to make your own investment decisions, obviously, but I feel like it's meta again. I definitely feel like it. Did I buy Texas? You're asking did I buy calls? I bought hundreds. One of the biggest positions in calls I've been in, actually, even bigger than Meta. Meta was super cheap. A lot of the calls that I bought in Meta were kind of like my early calls. The first ones were very high out of the money, and they were also, because I bought 700 plus, they were also way less time to expiration. So not all of them, some of them ran up super fast, but not all of them, some of them expired worthless. Out of the money, far out of the money. Even though Meta went up 20+%. But this is a better move than Meta was. So like they're actually doing better. Yeah, it's gonna be real nice tomorrow though to see that run up. In VO. Yeah, I mean some of these let's see. Yeah, chart's looking really good. Real good. And I created some notes on this. Yeah, this has been on my radar too. I really want a lot of these companies to make some good deals. You know, with any big pharma, they got to make some good deals with the government. And if they do, and I think we've already seen Eli Lilly might be one of them. It's going to be a big one for Medicare and Medicaid when they start to give fat loss drugs and medicine to people that are on Medicaid and then Medicare. Medicaid first and then Medicare. Government's doing this and they're going to pay for it. So that's another reason I think Trump's doing this, to get a better deal from companies. Some of the big pharma, the purple ones here, the green ones here. It's going to help. So they did the executive order 3 months ago. We've already started to see some stocks drop, and then starting to see some recovery too. Getting at 45, just buy shares. Just bought shares in VO. Yeah, this was one. This is one I think that Adam that we talked about earlier, that we crossed paths with on Meta, and now UnitedHealth Group. I think he was buying way higher. He was buying UnitedHealth Group way higher. I think he thought his average is a little lower because he bought here, but I think he started buying over here too. So he's a long-term investor, you know, looking at these. Yeah, Leonardo, I have a Discord. There's a link. I think it was posted below. Should be actually, there's nothing posted below in this video because it's live. I gotta post some stuff up. But if you check my my links, you'll see the Patreon, and there's all Discord link in there. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot to cover in this, so I'll be going live a lot more probably for this, but instant access to the data will be in the Discord. Like anytime I do a thesis or post, it's gonna be in there first, and then I go live, and then the same thing if like there's news, I'll probably be able to find it in there. You know, stuff about the stock specifically, because we're tracking in UnitedHealth Group, we're tracking PBM stuff. We're tracking things from the government that might help them with any type of pharmacy, big pharma cuts. So there'll be news automatically populating in there in the channel, specifically for UnitedHealth Group on anything related, 24 hours. So that's a good thing. And you can check it out in there. But yeah, guys, I think this is one last look at the chart. Man, pretty great. This has been fun, guys. Thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it, guys. And we'll see you in the Discord if you guys want to check it out in there. And that's where I'm going to be chatting next. But yeah, it's been a good an hour and 40 minutes. Derek, Fat Chin, your name is Derek. I remember you, right? Should be Derek. But I'm going to end this, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. We will see you tomorrow. I'm going to be doing more update videos on UnitedHealth Group there. And more thesis to unravel as the time goes on. We did it, guys. Peace.